You're now listening to episode 177 of the Sae Bae cast. In case you missed it, episode 176 was recorded in Orlando last week, where I spoke with Bodie, Tasty, T-Papa, Fat Clouds, Prison Joe, and many more. That episode can be unlocked via Patreon and YouTube membership in the description below. Shout out to the 40 members that pledged this past week. Your support keeps these casts coming, and I'm extremely grateful. Thank you ever so much, and now here's my conversation with the legendary BeggarOfficial. All right, welcome to the Sae Bae cast, number 177 with BeggarOfficial. Beggar, how are we doing this fine Monday?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for having me on. It's very exciting to be here.
Yes, technically this is your second appearance, although I don't know if you know, there was actually some of the people that were on the cast that had no idea that the one in Orlando was actually a Patreon exclusive. So
Oh, fancy. Oh yeah, for the members only. I get it.
yeah, and I felt bad like because I've never actually had an exclusive episode, so I was just awaiting the comments saying like, "Dude, you are such a sellout." But no, like I only got a couple of them, and most people understood that like I've never provided anything for the people that support the cast, so this was like a one-time gift, basically. Like here you go, here's something you can have that is like exclusive. So you were on
And
that
that's
technically,
a
and
that's a really good gift because you had like everybody on there.
it
So
was, dude, honestly, listening to it back, I was pretty fearful because I don't fully remember everything we talked about. And I also was a little bit nervous because I stepped off of the couch for like a good 45
yeah.
minutes and I was like, I don't know what they talked about, but I got to go in there and like make sure everything's relatively clean. But no, it was really good. And when I listened to it back, I mean, you did a great job, everybody did a great job, and it was really smooth. I still edited quite a bit when there was just like random hiccups and things, but for the most part, it's pretty much all in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
So technically second appearance, but the real talk, this is your first appearance. So Beggar, let's get a brief introduction of who you are and I guess your history with RuneScape and maybe history with streaming.
yeah, absolutely. So I've been playing this game basically my whole life. I think I started in 2004, right before the Halloween scythe dropped, and I only remember that because I went on vacation. And my buddy called and was like, dude, you got to get this site. And I didn't have internet and I was very sad. Um, but that being said, I was like a super casual player, played on and off. I was free to play forever. Um, so yeah, basically I just play this game my whole life. And one of my buddies in like 2014, he was like, dude, you should stream on Twitch. And I didn't know, I wasn't like a heavy internet user besides RuneScape, so I didn't know what that was. But he told me about it, and I remember I got on and checked it out, and it seemed pretty cool. And ultimately, it was like, I'm playing RuneScape all day, anyways. I should just go live. And back then, I wasn't on old school yet. I was still playing RS3, but I streamed for about 2 years from 2014 2016, and then I got busy with college and work and all that kind of stuff. So I came back to streaming in 2020 on old school. And I feel like that's really when streaming and like honestly just playing RuneScape really began for me, because before that, I feel like even though I played this game my whole life, I'd done it in a way where it's like, I'm gonna click this tree and like go AFK for the whole night kind of thing. So I feel like I didn't really get into it until I got back on old school and started streaming that, because the chat really kind of helps you learn a lot. So
So was
yeah,
2020, was that because of COVID you kind of got back into it, or was that not have anything to do with it?
you know what? Kind of just a coincidence. I had been living in like apartments and stuff where the walls were like really thin, and so I wasn't able to stream, and
Hmm.
I finally got a place with some thicker walls, and I'm a little loud when I stream, so that was a big deterrent. And I'll be honest, like it just kind of all worked out. But yeah, the COVID, I mean, it's terrible to say, but it's really good time to come back to streaming because I feel like everybody was looking for something to do while they were stuck at home. So,
Yeah, it's the worst thing to like admit or to even say, but for streamers, yeah, COVID was a pretty nice like for multiple businesses as well. Like if you had something to do, like if you were making masks, all of a sudden your business boomed, you know? And like if you
I
were
got,
streaming, if you were in the entertainment industry online, like you're good. So definitely a blessing, but yeah, that was I can't ever say that obviously because it was so many people seriously negatively affected. So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's so. Let's see. So, what was your so was 2020 the first time you started playing old school? Is that what you're saying as well? So, because like before that, you were just playing RS3. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I was one of the people that was like maxed in RS3. And I was like, oh man, I really want to switch to old school, but I don't want to do, all this work over again. I got all this money and like just, the sunk cost fallacy,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the final like trigger. Oh, I know what it was. I quit RS3 for like years. Yeah, I quit in 2016 because of, like I said, work in college and stuff. And so I hadn't played in a while. And when I came back, I was like, you know what? Let's do old school because that's kind of what I'd been wanting to do anyways. And of course, if I think a lot of RS3 to old school converts, like the one regret, I'm like, man, I wish I had switched sooner. but but no, it's good. It's good to get back on here. And at first I was just doing like a main account. And when I started streaming, I was a Nightmare Zone account. I had just gone to Nightmare and like maxed my stats and like immediately started doing uh like Zulrah and Vorkath
Yep.
for making some money. And and I loved Clue Scrolls. Clue Scrolls were like my favorite thing to do. So
Yes. Which tier?
I it's mediums. I
That
love
was me.
mediums.
That was me too. I feel like that's any like new player's experience is like mediums honestly feel like there's that big ticket item, the ranger boots
Yo,
that are common enough, so it's not third age level. And on top of that, they're relatively chill to do. You don't need super high stats because I fell in love with mediums when I first started old school. Oh my god.
yep, that was my first big like thing that I did back when I got back on Twitch. It was like the grind for Rangers, and I went a little dry for my first pair. I think I got my first pair at like 660. So going dry as a streamer, I feel like is always great, especially if your audience is like invested in whatever you're going for. And so everyone was like, "When's he getting these boots?" And it was a great way to return back to Twitch. I feel like.
Yeah, no, you're right about the dry streaks. You know what's really awful is when you see people on Reddit or Twitter that you've never heard from because they're not content creators, and you see the most disgusting dry streak from the worst boss. I I,
Yeah.
I remember particularly on the release of Hydra. There was some UIM that posted on Reddit like several months after the release, and he went 10,000 dry for his claw.
Oh my gosh.
10,000. Like he went 10x the rate on a UIM. Like just okay, first of all, that sucks for anybody, first off. And on top of that, you're a UIM, so you can't even pick up half the stuff. So like going dry at Hydra would be a blessing after the fact, kind of, like okay, like I got a shit ton of loot. No. This
Yeah.
guy had to basically leave a lot of it on the ground and just
Oh,
oh my
that's
god, dude.
brutal.
Because if you had streamed that, at least you'd have this huge audience that's like cheering you on, like "Let's go!" But now he's just doing it in his basement, like "Let's fucking grind this out." Like this, that sounds like absolute torture.
There's a streamer who I see he hangs out in Hamsies a lot. I think they do Top together and stuff. But Lado, he's an Iron Man, and I think he's like, and he's definitely in the top 100 rank for Top on an Iron, and he still doesn't have a scythe. It's so bad.
Uh,
It's so bad. Hold on,
that
let me see what.
that is so painful. People that go, I mean, there's a little bit of okay. I will say, like Scythe is not okay. No, Scythe is important. I would say the worst thing though is going dry on something like super giga important. Like I would say Tebow's way more of like an essential. Not like essential. It's not like a Tebow's essential, but it definitely feels like if you don't get a Tebow, you're there forever. Scythe at
It hurts,
least.
yeah.
Scythe still has. Scythe definitely has that feeling more now that it's been buffed and stuff, and just like with power creep, Scythe is really really good at a lot of places. But back in the day, it didn't really feel as important. But you're right, still painful.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of crazy grinds. I remember I think it was Wizard Boots
Yeah,
maybe, and he went
yes.
like crazy dry for Rangers. Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't it like 2400 or something.
Yeah, it was nutty.
Like that is I remember popping into his stream and first of all he milked the fuck out of that shit. Like when he would stream that dude, you would have like, 20 caskets left or whatever. And that shit would take him 40 minutes to open. I'm like, it was like oh my god. I'm like, bro, like please open it. But thing is it's his stream, he's doing his thing. And to be fair, he not marketed it well, but he knew how to perfectly milk it because I was there the whole time anyway. But I was just getting super tense. I'm like, open the casket. It's like, damn it, dude. But yeah. So whenever I think back, I'm like, what? He deserved to go dry. He milked that way too hard when he'd open them. But no, he's a beast for grinding all that out. I'm pretty sure he was rank 1 hardcore for mediums too when he got him.
Yeah. Sometimes when you go that dry, it's hard not to feel like something's wrong. Like
I
with the
know.
game itself. I actually had this happen one time, like legitimately, and now anytime I go dry, I'm like, what if something is broken? It was the Pharaoh's Scepter.
Oh
I
no.
did I did like millions of XP at freaking Pyramid Plunder,
Yeah.
and I wasn't looting any urns. So like I wasn't going for XP. I was just
Oh
looting
my
the middle
god.
chest, and I got like, because I wanted it. I didn't want to get a 99. It was my first 99, and I was kind of wanting to like get something else for my first one. And I went like 2 or 3 million XP before I got the scepter. And a few, a few months after that, Jagex put out a thing like, "Oh yeah, we accidentally messed up the drop rate of Plunder Scepter because they did something to like nerf the bots, I guess."
Yeah,
And,
yeah. Wait,
and it
were you just doing floor 1 or were you doing all the floors you could
no,
do, but
no. So that
just
was
the
what
middle?
I was going all the way up, all the way
Okay.
up. And what happened is the further you went in, the worse your odds got.
Oh, so that
Um,
was a glitch. I didn't even know about that.
yeah. It was in one of the news posts. I wish I could find it real quick, but yeah, I remember seeing that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really was like, it really was broken because we were all joking about it. But
The
so now I'm paranoid every time I go dry.
Yeah, just the fact that and that's happened. That's not just like a one-time occurrence. Like that's happened handfuls of times where there have been bugs in the drop rates. I was blessed one time. Like there was one time it was horrible, and one time I was blessed. The blessing came at next because there was a random week or two. I think I only got to do it for a few days. Like I was killing necks for a few days with the boys, and it was right during that week or 2 week span where only MVPs got drops. So I'm a sweat, and my team was more like just chilling out, and I was like summoning thralls repeatedly and just not losing any ticks. And so I was doing this 4-man, and I got 5 drops in like 100 KC with this 4-man team, and
Wow.
and a pet. And so I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, this is amazing. And then I was getting like MVP like 80 or 90% of the time, basically. And I had no idea. Like, nobody had any idea that that's how it was playing out. And MVPs should be getting the drops on average, like more than the other people. But yeah, when I discovered that that was a glitch, I was like so fucking happy. There was some guy in I want to say what's that clan? Valiance or something? Whatever that big Iron Man clan is, the PvM clan. There was some guy that did suspect something was going on. And so what he did was he, for like a week straight, just camped masses at Nex and giga sweat. Like he was
Oh
trying to
yeah.
not lose any ticks. And so he was getting MVP like, 75% of the time, maybe even higher. and he got
Wow.
so many drops in his name. Like, he made billions just from like just
Wow.
milking that bug. And he wasn't fully sure, but he had enough evidence overall that he'd suspected that only MVPs were getting drops. So it's crazy.
Okay, I have a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I this is my conspiracy theory. I'm sure other people might share it, but I think that sometimes I think Jagex purposefully releases content like a little too like so it's a little better, right? At the start. Because I feel like typically they release something, it's like really good GP per hour, really good XP per hour, and then the nerfs happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've noticed that a lot to so much so that I'm like, whenever there's new content dropping, I'm like, I gotta get on and
Yep.
like
Yep.
grind this immediately. Sometimes it backfires, but
Yeah.
I feel more often than not, it is very good. Like forestry, like day one or whatever, when you could like hop worlds just to find
Mm-hmm.
the spot right away. People were getting like the craziest XP, stuff like that. It's like
I
I
mean,
feel like it might be purposeful, just to
they,
get people excited about it and doing it on day one.
you're right. I mean, I wonder what's going on in the back rooms at Jagex headquarters, and they're like, okay, like we clearly have analytics here. What is a better way to go about it? Is it better to be very careful and just don't make the drop rates too crazy, or for a boss, for example, and then release it, and then people do a few kills and are like, okay, this is dog shit. I'm not even gonna do anything with it. Or would it be better to make it super lucrative at first, so you get so many people involved in it, so you get a bunch of data right off the bat immediately because everybody's doing it? And I think that's actually a very smart thing. Like, if it's purposeful, like they purposefully like juice up the drop tables just a little bit more than probably they would say should be where it's at. I feel like it's much better because, one, they can discover maybe unintended bugs because there's so many people there that are playing it. And
Yeah.
also they can test out if everything's balanced right, like XP wise or just the mechanics wise. And I feel like that actually is the smart way to go. Plus, there's just so much more hype. I mean, I think the earliest example of it was probably Zulrah, but the earliest example for me was Wintertodd, where the release of Wintertodd, you were getting like 9 Snapdragon seeds from a fucking crate that took you 2 minutes. It's just wild.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
That's my conspiracy.
that's probably pretty right on the head. I would say that's like pretty close to what's actually happening. I don't know if it's even considered a conspiracy. It's mostly just like it's better to be more generous than less. Just so you get more players involved and stuff. And plus, I mean, when people, it always feels like the end of the world when something's glitched or super, super generous for a week. But in the grand scheme of things, when people abuse something for a week or two, it's really not that big of a deal. It feels like it in the moment, like, oh my God, we got to nerf this now, like nerf it. But no,
Yeah.
ultimately it's whatever. So,
Yeah.
you know what? But on your point of suspecting something's wrong, I was going to get to my I've told this before, but I went 871, I think, dry of an unsired at one point.
No.
And so 8.7x rate, I swear to God, when I hit like 500 dry, I was like, do I have to talk to that like sire dude in the middle of the place?
Yeah.
Like what happened? Because like I had already completed a couple bludgeons at this point, so I wasn't dry for my first one. This was just a random dry streak in the middle, and I'm like, what? Like, what is happening? And then it was like 600 dry, and this was during a bingo too. So I went like 300 kills dry on a bingo as well. It was just like painful, but no. So it ended up being like 870 ish. And bro, I was seriously like about to tweet at Jagex. I was like, dude, like, the fuck is happening? And then I finally got it. I'm like, dude, dry streaks just happen like that. And I just recently as well, last week, I finally got my first Virtus piece over 7x the rate for a piece of Virtus. So it happens here and there. It's crazy.
You're breaking the Iron Man spoon the rhetoric that people say.
Yeah. Iron suffer. I mean, going dry on Virtus is like the it's so that is the most chill thing to go dry on because you don't really, especially me having full ancestral, I don't need that. So it was a convenient dryness, honestly.
Yeah. Get the pad and all that stuff. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you done any of the DT2 stuff, bosses?
Not yet. I've killed them all just like when they came out a little bit,
Mm,
but I haven't really gotten to where I'm grinding them yet.
mm.
I right now I'm working on like raids items right now, so I don't have full ancestral yet. I don't actually just started TOA.
Okay.
Um, so learning TOA still. I've been playing this game my whole life, but like I said, very I think I'm probably one of the more casual like streamers that like does this as much as I do, you know? Um
There is
I'm a
nothing
very
wrong with that, by the way. There would have been something wrong with that like years ago when we were all like in that like elitist phase, but now, dude, we're all entering our 30s. We just don't give a fuck anymore. It's like we just play the game for fun now.
that's really it. I'm just having fun
Yeah.
and I I use the phrase like content creator very loosely because it's like I'm not really creating content. I'm like my stream is like a just chatting stream with a side of RuneScape is how I like to tell people about it. Like,
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
but yeah, I just have fun, you know. So I'm learning TOA, and I'm probably gonna be getting ready for Tob here soon. I have everything I need. I would like a Fang. A Fang would definitely be nice for Tob, but um, you know, you can go with a whip. But yeah, so I was about to learn Tob, but I do like the DT2 bosses. They were a lot of fun. I did a few kills when they came out, and I'm looking forward to grinding those some more.
So I'm
The
looking.
second
Oh yeah,
phases,
yeah.
no
Go for it.
shot, no shot, no time soon, not happening.
Oh wait, sorry. Say that one more time. I missed what you said. No time soon.
You're good. The awakened phases of
Oh
the
yeah,
DT
yeah.
bosses,
Those
yeah,
are
that's a while out. That's a
yeah.
while out.
And just for those listening, I mean, you are an Iron Man, correct?
I am an Iron Man, but I do like so like my stream when I first started, I was a main account
Mm,
and kind of one of my favorite things in like RuneScape growing up my whole life has always been like because I was like free to play for a long time. So like this game was mostly like free to play is like just a social game more than anything, you know, like you're just hanging out with people in the game. All my friends played growing up, so we would like hang out and free to play and chat because like there was not really there was like AIM, but like RuneScape was better than AIM, you know? So
hmm.
it was a very social thing. So part of that was like drop parties and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so when I started streaming, one of my things was, okay, now that I'm like making so much GP, I want to be the guy like giving back to the community, doing drop parties and fun stuff like that. So when I started back on old school, I was doing Zora and Vorkath, and I think what I said was every every time I think it was like every hour, I was just giving away like a portion of the money I made from Zora. And very quickly, what happened is like rich people that were watching my stream were like, here, give this away, give that away. And they would just start like giving me things to give away.
Yep.
And it kind of turned into this, I kind of turned into like the party stream, I guess, so basically every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, we started doing this thing called like giveaway night. And usually I'm just like doing clue scrolls and stuff like that. And anytime something like if I get like a new collection log item or honestly any excuse just to give away stuff, we'll give stuff away. So I do two things. I do a bunch of giveaways on Friday and Saturdays, and then on the rest of the week I play on the Iron Man. So and even on giveaway night, I usually use that as like my time to prep things. So like recently I was doing like amethyst mining and getting a buttload of amethyst darts and arrows stocked up. So that's a good time to do that kind of stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
So where did your this is all going to tie in, I think, to like your name. Was your name originally? So I'm talking like 2014 to 2016. What was your Twitch name then? And then when, or was it still Beggar? And then at what point did it become BeggarOfficial?
Okay, so it's honestly a terrible name. It's a terrible name, especially for a Twitch streamer because so many Beggar does not have a lot of positive connotations to
It
it.
really
Um,
doesn't.
like I've actually gone in people's Twitch streams and
Oh no.
like non RuneScape streams, and they're like, "Ew, Beggar! Like, don't ask me for free stuff. Like, get out of here," kind of thing.
Uh,
So it's a rough name, but what happened is it was actually before I started streaming. I was just like playing RuneScape, and it was when I made my first billion GP. I made my first billion GP in the game, and I felt like hot stuff, dude. I'm like, man, I've made it. I'm the best player in the game. Like, and this was in RS3 too,
yeah,
so it's
yeah.
even more embarrassing because like that was not a lot of money. But I remember I kind of what you're doing here on these agility courses. You got your rich poor man outfit on.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
that was what I did. I was like, I'm gonna dress up like I'm broke, and then I'm gonna like give people money. And like I wasn't even streaming or anything. I was just I thought it would be funny because I have a lame sense of humor, and so I would just like give people money, and they'd be like, "Oh, he's not broke." And my name, I changed my name to Mr. Beggar in game just to add to the costume of this broke guy that was giving away money or whatever. And so that's where Mr. Beggar came from. A really dumb joke that's not that funny. And then when I started streaming, I wasn't actually planning on streaming. I just made a Twitch account to check it out, like what Twitch was. And I tried making like Mr. Beggar and it wasn't available. So I ended up making Beggar RS was my first Twitch name. And yeah, so I started streaming into that. And then after a little while I changed it to BeggarOfficial just because I was like, well, what if I want to stream something besides RuneScape? I also had people calling me Beggar, like a pirate, and I
Yep,
was like,
yep.
that's not it. It's not it.
Yeah,
So
that's yeah. No, but I feel like that's an important thing to do eventually. Like just seeing the future potentially. I mean, because that's technically my name change because I was originally Sae Bae, not so it didn't have
say
RS in it.
baby.
But
Yeah.
my Twitter name, dude. When are we gonna be able to change our X handles? You know, like I want to
Yeah,
because
you're still yeah.
I'm Satyr RS there, and I'm like, you know what's crazy is I actually own the account named. Actually, no, I don't think I own the one that's Satyr. I'm trying to think. I have one that's like maybe it's Satyr underscore or something like that, but like it's some old account. But I'm like, can I just transfer that over or something? But like, nah. So that would be nice to change ultimately. But yeah, that's a solid name change. You can't really change though from Beggar now. I mean, I can understand the
Yeah. That's a hard one. I've
yeah
thought about it. I'm stuck. I'm stuck as Beggar. Yeah. But it's okay. I feel like at
yeah.
this point, a lot of like the Twitch RuneScape community kind of like has at least heard my name or like see me. Not everybody, but a decent amount, enough to where they're like, "Oh, that's that guy in the panda hat or whatever," you know? Like,
hmm
but
Speaking of the
yeah.
panda hat, actually, I first met you in person last week, and I met you
Oh, yeah.
without the panda hat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You,
that
you're one of the very few. There's not a lot. In fact, that's actually the only meetup I've done in the 4 years that I've been streaming. I haven't met anybody.
oh
Um,
wow, I honestly it you came across as like somebody who's like been to these sort of like events before. Like I feel like you, I don't know. I thought like you had already met a few of the people there as well. Just how you came
oh,
off. So
that's very nice. No, I am like a mega recluse. So
yeah, I mean we all are technically like we all meet up and we all try to like put on a front. Now we really don't put on a front, but it's very clear a lot of us just like, don't get out much, including myself. So
yeah, it was really fun though. Everybody was super cool. But it is funny. I did have to think about before I went. Like, should I wear a
Ooh.
hat? Like, do I need to wear a hat? Is it weird if I don't wear a hat? Like, are people gonna be, and you know, it's funny. That was literally the first thing everyone said. They're
Yep.
like, you have, you know, whatever under
He
that
has a
hat.
beautiful hairline. He actually does. Like when people wear hats chronically, you just suspect that there's some major balding. I mean, I'm balding myself, and I've decided that I'm not going to go the hat route because as soon as I start wearing hats, I'm going to be addicted to them. But yeah, no, I was very surprised. I was like, damn, this man comes in with like slick hair, just nice and groomed. I was like, Jesus, dude, looking good.
You know, it kind of started as like a joke in my stream because originally I had like a hat collection, and my shtick was gonna be like I'm gonna wear a different hat like every stream, and that'll be kind of funny. And I remember I had all these crazy hats, and I put on the panda hat, and people were like, "That hat is awesome. We like that hat." And you know how Twitch chat can be. They bullied me mercilessly when I switched hats. And this was actually back before Twitch was owned by Amazon. It was shortly after Justin TV days.
Mm.
And there was not as much moderation power. So it was like you can ban people or you can just like let them spam your chat. Well, they started mercilessly spamming me to like keep the panda hat on. And so that kind of just became like the theme of the channel was the panda stuff and the mascot, if you will. But now it's kind of funny because ironically, it's the opposite. Now people really want to see what's under the hat, and now I don't take it off, except for like charity or something like that. So it's come full circle.
That's always fun. I mean, that's the best way to stream. Just have some funny little gimmick, and just that's kind of like you're now known for your panda hat, and yeah, so I think it's cute.
Yeah, yeah. But
But yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely cool to meet you without it, just because it felt like a treat. Like, ooh, he's gonna do this for for the real homies. He's gonna come in without the hat. So
yeah, yeah, I don't wear contrary to what people think. I don't wear it out off a stream typically. Yeah. That is a surprising there's a surprising amount of people that like genuinely think I wear that everywhere. Like I think I've had people earnestly ask me like, "Do you wear that to like the grocery store kind of thing?" It's like, "No." It's so strange that you think that.
yeah, no, I mean that's it. There is this illusion online where like whatever you do online is what you do all the time. So like just recently in the past month or two, I've been on my rambles. I've been like cracking open a different monster flavor and trying it on stream, giving it a little rating. And
Oh,
there's like
yeah.
genuinely people very concerned for my health that are like, dude, like you're drinking those every single day, all day. Like you need to
That's all
stop
you do.
because
Yeah.
that's all they see is like the next video is me drinking another monster. Like Jesus Christ, dude, like get it together. Like you have the worst diet. Like what are you doing, man? All you drink is this. You don't even eat food. So that's kind of what has happened to a few of my viewers' minds. Is just like
Okay,
yeah.
give me a recap. What is the best flavor so far?
Ooh, that's a great question. So it's kind of weird. Okay, I haven't broken this down exactly on these videos, and I actually haven't.
Oh,
I think the no, but I'll tell it here. That's totally fine. I
the
think
tier list video is coming.
yeah, somebody else has got to compile that shit. I don't want to. I think the highest rated I gave was to the mango one. So these are the sugar free. I like the sugar free ultra monsters. They're
Okay.
they're really good, and I don't feel as guilty drinking them. There's still a shit ton of weird chemicals in it, but ultimately it's like whatever. I think the mango one, I really, really love the sunrise one, which is just the orange one. And I never really go for orange drinks usually. That's like the last thing that's on my mind usually. But that thing was so refreshing when I tried it. And I will say, a few months back, I had tried an alcoholic monster that was a peach flavor. And it tasted very, very, very similar to the peachy keen monster, which is the sugar-free one. But I don't like alcohol. I mean, I'll drink in a social setting and stuff, but I do not like alcohol at all. I don't like the taste of it at all. So now when I drink a peach monster, a normal one that I used to really, really enjoy, I get this weird feeling like I'm drinking the alcoholic version because they taste so similar. So when I get the first taste, I'm like, oh God, this is going to make me nauseous. Like, this is not going to be... Okay, so it's weird because the last time I tried the peach one, I'm like, I don't like this one anymore. And this used to be my favorite, but no, not anymore. So I would probably...
very interesting.
If I could only choose one, I would honestly probably put it head to head with the mango or the Ultra Sunrise, the orange one. So
Beauty. Yeah. I've only ever had the like original monster, and it was so long ago. You're making me want to try all these flavors.
Dude, the ultras are really nice. And I will... Oh, wait, how long ago? Like high school or like...
Like literally when it came out. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like middle school? Like when was that? That must have been so long ago.
It's been a long time. Yeah. And I didn't care for it, which is probably why it's been that long since I had another one. But I probably need to try them again, you know?
Right. Okay, well, I will say the fruity ones that are the sugar-free, they don't taste anything like the traditional monster. The traditional monster has a very distinct sort of energy drink feel to it. It's kind of heavy, kind of tastes syrupy.
Yeah.
These aren't quite as bad as that. I will say, though, when I was a kid, I think the first time I tried a monster, I was 13. And, dude, I became a total fiend over it. Like, I never had them hardly because, like, my parents were like, don't drink energy drinks. But dude, the fact that they were like forbidden, the fact that they had so much caffeine, which was kind of a little bit forbidden. Like I could have caffeine occasionally, but dude, when I went to my friend's house and we went to like Circle K, which was like the 7-Eleven, I would always go to the fridge, pick up one of those massive 24-ounce monsters with the lid on it and just chug that shit. And I was like a kid on crack, basically. Like I just fucking loved that stuff.
Heck yeah, dude.
It was, oh my God. Dude, this is so bad. This is a memory that just came to my mind. This is so embarrassing. But like when I was a kid, I had one of those cans. I brought it home. And because I knew I wasn't going to get a monster for the next several weeks, probably at the like earliest, I kept the can with the lid and I would screw it on really tight. And then when I really craved a monster, I would open the can lid and just smell the can. Like I was that fucking weird. Like I would smell the can to get a hit of it, basically. Like, oh my God, like I would fucking love one of these right now. So just like take a sniff. Because that smell in there lingers permanently. I mean, it is just so strong.
That is hilarious. It does make you wonder what's in these things when you got kids smelling the leftover can.
I mean, I just wonder like how many things like how many things were just more magical because I was a kid. For example, RuneScape. Oh my God, RuneScape, bro. I was playing that was just meth. I mean, that is just like you just log in, and I had a limited amount of computer time. Not initially, but my siblings and I fought over the computer so much that my parents finally just gave us an hour time limit each. But oh my God, dude, logging into RuneScape, like it was just the most magical experience as a kid. It's still really fun today, but it wasn't magical. You know, it's not magical anymore as it used to be. So who knows? Maybe just so many things when you give it was just your first experiences with things are just magical. That was Monster for me as well.
I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, like I lived in like a neighborhood with like a ton of kids, and we would play like Manhunt every day and stuff like that. But one thing we all also did was RuneScape. We all played RuneScape, and this was like before like we all had cell phones, and you know, house phones were still like a thing. So like if you wanted to talk to your buddies, like you could get on RuneScape and like message all your friends, and you know, and then like you had kids at school that played, so there's like school drama happening in game, you know, like it was a very different feeling, I think, because of how we have so many more channels of bonding and communication with people now that we're not like like locked into the game to like be social as much. Some people still are,
Hmm.
but I think that was like a big aspect for me. Um, was talking to my friends like at school about like what we did on RuneScape the night before, and like, oh, we're gonna go in the wilderness tonight. We're gonna death dot on the hill giant hill, like
Yep. Where did you
I
grow
don't know.
up, if I may ask?
In Florida,
Okay.
yeah. So it was summer all year basically. So I guess that probably helps with being able to hang out with everybody every day because no snow or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like
But yeah,
there's certain areas. I mean, this is just based on the United States. I mean, I grew up in Oregon, so there I had like I was introduced to RuneScape from my fourth grade friend. He found it on Miniclip. I think I had already saw it on Miniclip, but he was like, "Bruh, you gotta play this." And so we would talk on the home phone together. I'd keep the home phone right next to me, and we'd like call on speakerphone, and we'd play together. But I didn't really have many other friends that played RuneScape. It was very,
oh
very like
yeah,
uncommon. But oh my god, I really envy those people, especially in like the UK. I know there was like people that just their whole class played RuneScape. Like everybody did.
yeah.
There, I remember going over to my friend's house. Some family like from my church at the time, like they had kids around my age, and I'd go over there and I tried to get them all addicted to RuneScape. Basically, I think I must have been like 10 or 11, and their daughter, who was my age at the time, like I just tried to get her to really like this game, basically, just so I could flex to her about how. I mean, my account sucked ass, but I did have like full Addy at one point. I had like 100K cash stack, and I
That,
just
that was
I needed her to get into the game so she could understand how impressive that was. And so
that is impressive back in the day.
I thought it was impressive, and so I was trying to like teach her this game, and of course she's a girl, so she just wants to play like Sims and play with her dolls and shit. And I'm like, no, you need to play this. Like, this is so much fun. Look, you can cook. I'm like showing her on Tutorial Island, like you can make fucking bread. Like, isn't that awesome? Like,
Oh, that is
and
funny.
she just really didn't get into it, but so I couldn't ever fully illustrate how fucking much of a baller I was in the game. So depressing.
Ah, that is
Yeah.
sad. I remember the first time my buddy's the first person that showed me this game, and he's like, "There's this game out, and like, it's really cool. We need to try it." And we went on Tutorial Island, and this is like the RuneScape Classic Tutorial Island, and there's just like outside of the kitchen there's like some rats or whatever, and I remember we're like attacking these rats, and I swear we must have hit like 1,000 zeros. It was so lame. I remember being looking at my buddy like, this is the game you wanted to play? Like, this is awful. And I don't even know if we made it off Tutorial Island. I was so bored. I was like, I'm not feeling this at all. I'm done. And a while later, I don't even know how much time had passed, but my parents had a friend over to the house, so an adult, okay? And this guy's like a big nerd. And he's like, "You play video games?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play video games." And he's like, "I gotta show you something." And he gets on the computer, and he's like an old man, so I'm like, "Okay, what are you gonna show me, old man?" And he logs into this RuneScape game, and I'm immediately like to myself, rolling my eyes, like, "Oh, I've seen this. This is the rat game." Like, big whoop. Anyways, he logs in. He's got this cool looking blue sword. All right off the bat, I'm like, "Hey, that's cool. I didn't know there was like blue stuff. That's cool." And he one hits a bear. And I at that point, I was like blown away. I had no idea you could do that. He hit like what is a bear's HP? 19? I don't know. It
Yeah.
was crazy. I was mind blown. I called my buddy up that night. I'm like, "Dude, we gotta try this RuneScape thing again. I just saw this dude one hit a bear." It blew my mind. And after that, I was like hooked. And
Bro,
that was like my
that is
first
amazing.
introduction.
It's so true
Yeah.
though. You see one Giga Chad out there, and it changes your perspective entirely on
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember I would grind on Varrock Thieves to get my training up. As soon as I hit a certain point in my account, it was probably around 40 attack and maybe like 55-ish strength or something, I'd start using my rune longsword, the 5-tick thing, just like the
Oh yeah.
shitty sword. But to me, the rune longsword was incredible, and I would grind on these thieves right south of Aubrey's magic shop, and there was just one thief that spawned, so I just wait for him, and I just keep killing him over and over, and that's how I trained. And I remember like thinking, I would occasionally see a level 100. And to me, I'm like, that kept me going, seeing the people that really took the game seriously. Like if their name is just completely dark red, level 100, or even I think the highest I ever saw, that I saw Zezima in game several years after I had started, I think, or like a couple years. But the highest I remember ever seeing was the level 111 in game, because I was never in occasionally I'd get membership in the summer, but I don't ever remember seeing anybody higher than level 111. I don't know, maybe my memory is just a little bit foggy, but I just remember thinking like, bro, those guys are gods among us peasants, basically, and I want to be that. Like I know I'll never get to that point, but just knowing it's possible keeps me like motivated to train and stuff. And I was so fucking inefficient. It just took me so goddamn long to level up, but like, oh, you're right, though. Seeing those people one-shotting bears, or seeing those people that are super high level. I remember going to Castle Wars, actually. You know what? I'd take it back. I think the 111 was the highest level I had seen for a while, but I do remember seeing some 126s at Castle Wars, I think in like 2000, like late 2005, 2006-ish. I don't know why 111 just sticks out to me so much. So I just remember like basically nutting over that number. I'm like, bro, like 111, how high does this go? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh, that is fun. I remember riding my bike to the gas station to get I used to use my parents wouldn't get me membership, so I'd have to like save up money from doing like mowing grass and stuff, and
Yep.
I'd go ride to the gas station, I'd buy the membership card, and I terribly inefficient. Like when I was a kid, I would literally just yew trees was my moneymaker, okay? And I would chop yews, and I'd get just enough to buy like some range armor and some like arrows to go PKing, and I'd go out and I'd immediately die and then straight back to the yew trees to do it again. But I remember when I got membership, I'm like, I can chop magic trees now. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
rich, and I was never rich. I think that's probably why I like medium clues so much, because that was the first time I ever found something that would make me like a lot of money. Because anytime I would make money, I would just spend it and like go die in the wilderness and lose it immediately. So getting my first pair of ranger boots was like the first time I ever had like more than probably like a mil, you know?
Yep.
And so it was like this magical thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm so rich now. And I think that nostalgia has stuck with me. So like even still, like I don't play my main really at all,
Mm-hmm.
except for popping open impling jars. Like that's the one thing
Yep.
you can't do on an iron, as is just like thousands and thousands. I mean, you could do it. You can prep that, but there's something
Nobody's got
about
time
just
for that. Yeah.
there's something nice about going to the Grand Exchange and just like bulking up on jars. So that's like what I do on my main usually. So
You're right, man. I mean, there are some real nice luxuries to being a main. I haven't played a main in like 7+ years at this point. Like, it's been basically almost 8 years since I've like actually normally played a normal account. So, and I was pretty broke back then in comparison, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of, maybe that would be fun to just like hop on a main account. The problem with me with RuneScape is, and you're gonna have to let me know how you kind of see it, but
yeah,
like, it's hard for me to really start enjoying a grind if I don't see this kind of long-term, super long-term progression in it. As like, why am I doing this? For example, I couldn't just go for 1,000 mediums or something on a normal account if I didn't see long-term me playing that account. So like just enjoying that grind for the grind itself of just like, oh, I'm just gonna grind some mediums. That sounds fun. It's like I wouldn't get that satisfaction that I would from an Iron Man, for example, that I really care about, that
Yeah,
I could see long term.
100%. Yeah, no, for sure. Like even when I do it now, it is kind of pointless in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. Like I do actually just it's super chill and
That's good.
relaxing. So I actually do just kind of enjoy popping mediums. I don't know if my stream does anymore because like I've green logged the whole medium log, and I have to like make up goals. I'm like I'm going for the top 1,000
Yeah,
now or
just
whatever. Like,
yeah. You just have to keep moving the
but
goalpost further. Just like yeah.
yeah, but no, I do totally get what you're saying. In fact, playing an Iron Man was like the best thing I ever did. It was funny. I didn't want to play an Iron Man. In fact, I was super against it when I started streaming. Like I was like, you guys are crazy. You want me to make an Iron Man? Like, dude, that's for like sweats and like that's just making the game harder to make the game harder. Like I did not see the point of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I did it as like, you guys want to see an Iron Man? I'll show you an Iron Man. And I started playing it, and the satisfaction you get from just learning like every aspect of the game and progressing the account is very nice. And I think for me too, as a streamer, especially because I do like the giveaway stuff, my account kind of became not my own because so many people were giving me things to give away that like I started to not own anything on my
Yeah.
account.
Yep.
And so it really took out the um like the feeling of achievement out of the game when people are just like giving you stuff. And so having the Iron Man, it was like, oh, I did this. Like no one can take that from me. Um
There's
and
just
so the
there.
sense of
Yeah.
achievement
Yeah.
is
Go.
way more. Yeah.
You're right. It's that sense of achievement. No, and especially as a streamer, I mean, you just became a community briefcase, basically, of just like, hey, here's everybody's stuff. We're gonna give it away eventually.
Yeah.
It is nice having a way that's official. It's locked. You cannot, uh, you cannot trade things over. It's just like the integrity will remain intact, and it's above you. Basically, it's a nice feeling. And I will say, starting an Iron Man, those little teeny drops you get. I mean, bro, I remember getting my first dragon med from a
Yes.
Calfight Guardian. I was like, bro, I am balling out of control right now. This is crazy.
Yeah. Everything really does make a lot more sense too, like progression wise. Like, on a main account, you do like a clue scroll and it's like garbage, garbage, garbage. You start doing clues on an Iron Man, it's like, oh, black dehyde. Oh my God, yes. Like
I
a
know.
magic bow? No way. Like the early, like every single item in the game, like the progression really makes a lot more sense. In fact, I tell people all the time, like the difference between like the main and the Iron. Like on my main, my goal was make money, get 99s. Like that's it. That's all
Hmm.
the main is, which is cool. And like honestly, nothing wrong with that. Like if that's like I had a lot of fun doing that for a long time. But on my iron, I have not even gone out of my way for like a 99 and I don't even know how many I have, like 5 or 6 now. Um and then they just happen because I need fish or I need to thieve seeds or whatever. Like the 99s just come
Hmm.
because I'm working on, other goals. And that's the other thing too. Like even though I played this game since 2004, I never really knew anything about the game. Like I said, I used to like chop magic trees for money. And when I would look to do stuff, like I maxed on RS3, but the way I did it is I would just type in like, you know, agility, best XP per hour kind of thing. Where on an Iron Man, you kind of do have to do like more than just whatever the meta is for the best XP per hour. Um, and so
It
yeah,
adds
I've
variety
learned a
too.
lot about the game. Yeah.
It adds variety because you're right. Like as a main, if you just want to get the 99s as fast as possible, it's just like do this method for your whole experience. Where Iron, it's like, nah, there's some pretty cool alternatives, and there's like little, untradeable rewards you can get from certain places, and it just really makes you feel like you can explore the game. And I feel like there's just this bigger sense of freedom when it comes to Iron Man, that you're not trolling doing other activities. Like if you saw somebody, I don't know, if you saw a gamer that kind of mildly cares about efficiency in the main game and they're not doing the efficient meta, it's like, bro, what are you doing? But on an Iron Man, people give you a lot more leniency. And it's like, yeah, you just kind of do whatever you want, and you're not looked down upon for doing some like more inefficient methods. So, and they like recently came out with just a bunch of different nice quality of life updates to past content. So obviously we kind of got like the EOC last week of a bunch of changes in the game, but we also got the EOS, the evolution of skilling, which has
Yeah.
changed a lot of good quality of life. I mean, you said earlier you were mining amethyst. Was that after the update where you can get like multiple
No,
per vein?
I did it right before, and I saw that
Oh
update, and I
god.
was like, dude, I made like 50,000 darts. Like, it's
Dude,
bad. I was like, the timing on that is rough, but I'm excited to do it again in like a year when I run out of darts.
yeah, no, it's I haven't touched amethyst since either yet, but I know like that kind of quality of life. Yes, people could argue it's easy scape, but it's such a high level requirement. I mean, I think isn't amethyst like 92 or something, or 93 or
Yeah.
whatever it is, but it's like I don't know, like things shouldn't be like just total dog shit when you hit those levels. Like it's kind of cool to have a little bit of chillness in those grinds that are AFK and low XP. So
Yeah.
those little changes, the expert mining gloves getting some nice love, just some other mini games getting revamped like Motherload Mine and these other places, like it's just great.
Yeah.
And I am planning, hopefully at some point, making a group hardcore Ironman with some people, which will be my first ever like new account experience
Oh.
in pretty much 7+ years. And the fact that there are so many cool little training methods now and everything feels a little bit more balanced. I mean, even them just upping the rooftops, like diversifying them more, giving a few more options, making them more balanced. Those kind of things are going to completely change my experience playing a new Iron Man. Like that run through again is going to feel different. It's going to feel good.
Oh yeah. And I'm looking forward to leagues with the Varlamore updates, because like that is totally changed like the starting strategy, I feel like. Um yeah, lots of changes. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. And this time through, I mean, I don't actually know how much, because the more time goes on, the more I think the community is just so much more relaxed on efficiency and other things like that, and like caring, like, oh, you're not going to follow Osiris guide or something. Like, I don't feel like people really care as much anymore. They just want to see content, and they want the game to be fun. Ultimately, that's what people want nowadays. So this run through is going to be pretty casual, I would imagine, and just I'm going to really just milk every little bit of the early game and mid game and just enjoy myself and not feel like I have to get things done really quick to get to a certain point really quick, because that, I don't know, it just kind of like ruins some of the magic from the early experience. I just want to enjoy myself, just take it
Yeah,
all
it's gonna
in.
be awesome.
Yeah.
Sae Bae on a hardcore. Oh man, people are gonna go crazy for that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. It's going to be kind of embarrassing because, as well, for the last 5 years, I've been maxed. So I don't know how the hell you play an account without a max cape now. So I'm gonna be running around like a blind chicken, like a headless chicken, basically, just like having. I'm just gonna forget all the luxuries I've enjoyed with the diary, with the diaries and everything like that, and even just something as simple as run energy and things. Like there's just so many
Oh yeah.
little aspects of the game that I forget are so tedious early on.
Yeah. Yeah. But those are like the best goals too, though. It's like I'm gonna unlock all the teleports. I'm gonna unlock the run energy, like that is kind of what, when I switched from RS3 to old school, at first it was like that was the worst part,
Hmm.
was because like in RS3 you have like lodestones. You can literally just like teleport anywhere for free, and like your run basically never runs out. And so it's super tedious. But then that is kind of what like gives you the sense of achievement in old school, and like makes it more like worthwhile of like getting that stuff. It's like I
Hmm.
earned this ability to, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it just yeah. Now one of the things as well that's going to be very helpful I'm very jaded. I'm like aware how jaded I am with this game because I just play maxed Iron Man. So when updates come out and there's things that don't apply to me, I can't get the full picture of like how this is changing the game or if this is even
Yeah.
important or if this is balanced or whatnot. So having a full run through of the early game experience into mid game into late game again is going to expand my like depth of not just knowledge, but just like firsthand experience and the kind of feeling that the game has nowadays. And I think that's going to be very like, I don't know, invaluable basically for my own
Yeah.
like content, just being able to like relate with the game because I feel like the longer I've been at this like high peak on that, just having max gear on an Iron Man is just like not people's experience usually. And I need to be a slightly more relatable. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Now, do you normally play like the leagues when it comes out,
I
stuff like that?
don't. That's the other problem. I'm one of
Ah,
the
see,
dude.
yeah.
I was saying this earlier. Like I need that endless progression. As soon as I see that there's an ending point or something, I just can't get
Mm.
into it. It's so painful.
Now, okay, wait a second though, because you're an Iron Man.
Yeah,
See, I feel the same about leagues, except cosmetics. You don't care about the cosmetics?
that's the yeah. No, it's a problem because I do care about the cosmetics, but I'm not willing to. Well, one thing
Mm.
I would want to play leagues on a different account anyway because in my head I'm thinking, ooh, I could like
You're wasting XP in the main game.
it's not quite that bad, but it's not even like it's wasting XP. It's just wasting potential. It's like this is a golden opportunity. Like right now, for example, this is me running rooftops right now is not me like thinking I can't be XP wasting. I log out all the time nowadays. Like I'll just log out for the whole day. And that's whatever. I don't have this like lingering feeling of I need to gain XP. But this is a prime time to gather marks of grace for the future that will just I don't want to grind rooftops any other time besides on these casts, basically, because it's just so painful. But right now, I haven't even noticed I've been grinding these rooftops. So it's the same thing. If I was playing leagues, I'd want this account to be at like Vires or something, so I don't even feel it, but I stack up a bunch of blood shards or something, you know?
Yeah.
So the cosmetics don't really mean much because I'd get it on an account I wouldn't even play anyway.
I see. Yeah, that's fair. That to me is like that's how they get me with leagues. If there was no cosmetics, I would not even care. But the cosmetics, I'm like, I have to have that on my Iron Man,
Uh-huh.
otherwise I'll never get it.
I
And
know.
which actually I'm super excited because here's the thing. Well, growing up, all I used to do was PvP. But it's kind of like shooter games. When a shooter game comes out, everyone like sucks at it, and it's really fun because you can actually kill people. But then the good players like take over, and all the bad players quit because they're getting their butts kicked, and it becomes just like really good players.
Hmm.
Well, that's what happened to me in PvP and RuneScape. It's like the only people PvP and I feel like are like crazy, right? So like I haven't really gotten back involved with it since I've been back. But this Deadman mode, I saw just today that every single cosmetic got approved. Um, and so they got me. I'm gonna have to get those. And I'm kind of excited because I have not PvP'd like in a decade probably.
You're right about the PvP. Like, I've never gotten into PvP. I know I'd be all right at it because I've done LMS and stuff and I can hold my own. Obviously, it's a different feel when you're risking things and there's not unlimited prayer and unlimited run and all these other things. But you're right. It just feels like the people that have stayed around PvP the longest are just masters at it. They've been doing it for a decade plus, and
Yep.
it's just kind of like intimidating to get into. But there is this like low key desire that I have. Like that would be so fun to just log in, gear up, run around the wilderness, maybe do some, PKing with the boys, get in some little teams, and just have fun.
Yeah.
But I've been so locked into that Iron Man mindset that I've never even like thought about really doing it. And
That's kind of the same. It's like
yeah,
I've got so much. stuff I'm working on right now. Like maybe one day I'll do PvP, but I'm having too much fun learning all this other stuff right now.
Yeah, you're right. But that's cool though that they've done that with Dead Man mode. I'm almost never up to date with Dead Man mode because it's just not something I get really excited about watching the tournaments online or like on Twitch when they happen, and
Yeah,
it's always a shit show, which is always just so much fun.
dude. Every year. Why do they keep doing a cash prize? Stop the cash prize.
I
Just
know.
let it be for fun.
I
What?
know.
We already know it's going terrible. Stop.
It's so funny.
Oh,
That is just premium content. I've talked to the J mods about those moments, like the final hour and stuff. Everything starts going horribly wrong on their end, and they just think, "Oh my god, like this is all burning." But ultimately, all the audience is having a fucking blast watching it burn. It's so much fun.
yeah. I saw I don't know how long ago this was now, but EVscape did like a battle royale type tournament thing on Twitch with
Hmm.
like content creators. That was really good. I really enjoyed like I'm pretty out of the loop when it comes to like stuff people are doing and whatnot, but I caught that and it was very cool. I feel like because there was like more narration going on and it was just a handful of people that it made it a lot more like more like an esports type thing where you could really see what was going on. That was cool. I like that a lot. I hope they do more of those.
There's actually one coming up this month. Actually, solo mission is. I don't know how much I can say about it. I don't know much about it, but there
Oh.
is this whole like content creator deadman mode that's going to be happening before deadman mode. I believe is how it's going. It's like the week before or something.
Oh, that's
Something.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. So I'm looking
I
forward to
saw
watching
his
that.
that must be his tweet that he
Yeah,
tweeted he got permission for. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool.
yeah.
I have not. This is how out of the loop I am with the content stuff. I have not seen Gillinor games yet. It's on my list. I'm gonna see it.
Bro, you are like, I mean, you're not alone in that. The thing is like Gillinor games, I have probably total, I've seen maybe 5 or 6 episodes out of all the seasons.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Okay.
I
That makes
always,
me feel a lot better.
yeah, I always hear like what's kind of going on because I stream and people are like, oh my God, did you see what happened to this? Or like, we're talking. And I don't know. It's just for some reason, it's really hard for me to lock into like an hour long just video every time because there's so many other creators and there's so many other videos I want to watch and stuff. And don't get me wrong, that shit is quality as hell, but it's just I've never gotten fully into it, which is it's almost like embarrassing to say like the way you were hesitant about acknowledging that you're that way. It's the same here. It's like, dude, there's just some pieces of content that are so popular that everybody loves, and I'm just sitting here like, oh shit, I should probably do my due diligence and watch this, but I just haven't yet.
I think the most of a series that I've seen is Settled. Is the UIM Mortania. That one was pretty crazy.
I love the. I think the accounts I get most in, or the series I get most invested in are the chunk. Okay, let me rephrase this. The extreme chunk thing. So I really got into Limpwort's. To be fair, I haven't really caught up with his content over the past year or so. But when Limpwort was first doing his extreme chunk, I was super invested in that just because it was so wild the grinds he was doing. Verf's uh chunk account that's started in Korend, like just the fact that he was in that one chunk for God knows how long. It's just cool because you see his bank and it's just the most unique thing ever, and it's actually just loaded with just the most random shit. And it's just cool how to see how far he'll take this. And so I get really
Yeah.
invested in those. And then the other content I just personally like are just commentary. Like I love listening to podcasts, people talking about the game, things like that. I don't know what it is. Oh, I also love Loki's series, by the way. UIM Loki. I just kind of got into that just because it's more commentary based, and I think I just like people talking about RuneScape. Ultimately, I know that's not the popular thing, but I don't know. It's kind of the content I've always liked. Just the more casual, sit down, and I can play my game while listening to something. So
Yeah. It's a great way to like stay up to date with everything too, I feel like.
yeah. Oh, one more. I got to give him a shout out. Rendy.
Oh
Rendy's
yeah.
content is just amazing. I love his stuff. So
His stuff is always just like how do you how do you think of this and like discover this stuff? It is crazy. Some of the stuff he does. I remember I was in like a Discord one time with him and he was planning something and he was like hunting implings and he had like just this network of accounts like hunting imps. Like it was on such another level, like the scale of his what he was working on. I was just like, this is absurd.
Yeah.
This is absurd. Oh man.
He's a beast. And he's just like a down to earth dude that's just
Yeah.
yeah, you can tell like he's just in his lane, you know, doing his thing, and I just think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I remember he was like when that level 3 fire cape stuff was going down with him and Exact. That was like, anyone, even if you just played RuneScape for a little bit, like everybody knows the Jad, you know?
Yeah.
And to hear about this like level 3 killing it, that was just absurd. I think everybody heard that. Hold on one second. I've got to change my headset battery. I'll be right back. All right, I apologize. This thing has been beeping at me for like the last 5 minutes. Okay.
You're good.
But
no, I was gonna say the Rendy Exact thing. There are moments in the community that it feels like the community really gets together about like a certain thing. That was one of those moments where the Exact / Rendy race to the basically lowest combat fire cave was just so cool to watch because, I think it was like level 17, and then it was like level 16, then it was like level 9, then it was level like 4, and then it finally got to level 3. And then Kemp Q is still theory crafting the level 18 fire. Yeah, I'm kidding. Do you remember that meme that would always go around?
I do remember that. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That was funny.
Whenever you see that, like, because it would be some update of like, oh my god, they got the level 4 or whatever. And then always in the Reddit comments, you see one guy like Kemp Q still theory crafting the level 19 or 18 or whatever he's doing. That was funny.
That's funny. Yeah. Now you got Wook's like. No prayer. Did you see his no prayer 6 Jads? Oh my goodness.
Bro, did you see Unpredictable's 250 6 Jads in one attempt? Like so there's a way to do 6 Jads, but it's a what's it called? Unlimited or whatever endless mode. There's an endless mode 6 Jads. I don't know if you knew. But you can enter it after you've completed 6 Jads, and it's just endless. So as soon as you kill one, another one respawns. So you're basically just non-stop killing 6 Jads.
Wow.
He did 250 in a row. And that sounds unbelievable. But the way he did it is miraculous. I'll link you the video at some point. But
I've got to see that.
You just see unpredictable. You can just like type in like unpredictable endless 6 Jads or something like that on YouTube, and you'll see it. For the first 30-ish minutes, he's setting it up. So he is flicking 6 Jads for 30 minutes, trying to run under them in very particular ways that are perfectly mapped out to make it so so there's 5 Jads that get stacked up underneath each other. He's like moving them around like on a leash basically, because he steps under them, and you know how a monster will move if you're under them. They'll try to like pad their way out. He steps under 5 of these to get them all in this arrangement so that they're all underneath each other. And then what he does at the end, after like 30 minutes of this, he stands underneath this stack of 5 Jads that are now permanently stuck because the healers have stuck them together. So he's underneath this, and all he has to do is kill a single Jad because none of the other 5 can see him. So for the next 5.5 hours, he's killing 1 Jad over and over and over and over and over, and he kills it 250 times in the 6 hours before he's logged out.
Wow.
Yeah, and before that, the previous best was like 44 6 Jads before they ended up dying. So this dude just manhandled that record, and it'll pretty much. It could be beat. Technically, the 250 could be beat because if you're not spending half an hour trying to rearrange these guys, you could, in fact, just be perfect at killing these things,
Right.
but that would be
But
insane.
you'd have to flick like insane the whole time. Dude, I did 6 Jads in leagues, which is very different. I understand. That is not even the closeness. But just getting the prayer flicking for that. Like the
Yep.
difference between even 5, the difference from 5 to 6 was like crazy. Like I can't imagine doing that for more than a few minutes, let alone wow, yeah.
Yeah. It's
Some people are just insane
not
at the
not
game.
it's just there's so much going on because it's not just like, oh, there's this method to do this. No, he's fucking pioneering this shit. So he has to theory craft exactly how this is to be executed and then actually
Yep.
execute it. Because it's cool, it's cute to think, oh yeah, you just stand on these tiles, make sure it moves in this proper way. No, you're flicking 6 fucking Jads while you're doing this for 30
Yeah.
minutes. Like,
You know,
Jesus.
that is one thing that's really cool about RuneScape is because like on the surface, especially as like a newer player, it feels like it's so simple. It's like, okay, well, oh, you gotta turn a prayer on and off, and like you gotta
Hmm.
click this and that or whatever. But like the more you get to like the in-game stuff, like I'm barely scratching the surface of in-game. But even I have like gained so much more respect for like some of these crazy accomplishments. And I think most people, I saw something on the wiki. I think it's like 70% of people haven't killed mole of the player base or something like that. Like it's there's like most of the player base is just very, very casual. And I think when you first get started, you like don't realize how much there is to some of this like late game stuff and like how much is involved. And
Dude,
I don't know.
it's so. Oh, did you see Port Kazard's no protection prayer Infernal Cape?
I I've heard you guys talking about it
Yeah,
on the at the base Orlando, but I haven't seen it yet. That sounds insane.
dude, the fact that that is possible blows my mind. And
Yeah.
you know, you must have overheard it probably on the base thing. It's possible to do a one prayer, one defense Infernal Cape.
Wow.
Just the fact that that is possible is crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Whoever does it, probably be Port Kazard or Unpredictable or one of those guys. But that will be a trophy account beyond trophy accounts. I mean, just one defense, one prayer, Infernal Cape. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Meanwhile, I'm over here dreading my Jad task where I can't lose a prayer point, you know?
To be fair, that is hard. Although I will say, like, I think who was I talking about that particular task with? That task really isn't that bad. I think it's the idea of it that's really hard. But ultimately, if you have max gear, when is obviously the first 30 waves are just easy. You don't have to deal with a major. But as soon as the major spawns, you can tank a few hits. It's whatever. So basically, as long as you understand that you can only flick on your prayer every 4 ticks and just pray that mage, you're totally good. And if you can't see the mage in sight, it's okay to tank a couple hits. And all you really need to do is just bring, a few hundred sweets with you. You can still bring brews and restores as well. You just can't lose a prayer point, but you can drink prayer. And at the end of every wave, just heal up to full again, and you're like, it's actually just like it's really chill. I don't know.
Okay.
It
Well,
really
that's
wasn't.
encouraging.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I think it's just the idea of it. It's just like, oh my god, this is gonna be. Oh, you also have to. You cannot be hit by bats. Don't get hit by bats because I'm pretty sure that
Oh,
fails it.
oh right. Yeah, because they're right off the bat there.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that
I
one's coming up for me.
I just hid behind Italy Rock. If you remember the Mr. Mammal guide, Italy Rock,
Oh
everyone
yeah.
calls it that. Dude, that's how I got my first
It,
fire cape. Actually, just watching Mr. Mammal's
yep.
guide.
Oh really? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know whose guide I watched for my first fire game. I remember doing it on so my first account, the Mr. Beggar account, uh it was a pure account for a long time. So I remember doing that with like one defense a long time ago, and it was so hard. I remember thinking it was so hard to do that, but it's funny now I have a card on my stream that forces me to gamble my fire cape. And so my audience just likes to make sure that I never have a fire cape. So I have like I think I'm coming up on like 70 Jad KC just from
Oh
them
God.
constantly like throwing my cape away. So,
But it's for the gamble for the pet, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. And you still don't
So
have the pet, I'm assuming.
no pet yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no pet. So I don't know what everyone keeps asking what I'm gonna do once I get pet. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I have the
But
6 Jad completion, but I don't have the Jad pet, and I haven't really gone for it in over a year. So I'm like 30 something KC. So eventually I want to get that because I think the Jad pet actually looks cooler than the 6 Jad transmog personally, but
yeah,
I still want
same.
him.
Jad is a cool looking pet. I think it's one of the cooler ones in the game.
What's the coolest?
Oh gosh, that is tough. I'm I really like the noon the gargoyle pet.
Okay.
That one is really cool.
Which
But
transmog in particular? The Dusk, the standing one or the flying one?
the flying one for sure. Yeah.
Really? That's actually
Yeah.
very unique that you say that because most people actually like the Noon, the one that has the broken or the flaming wing, because there's the Zarpus one that actually looks kind of
True.
similar to Dusk, and it actually looks better in my opinion than Dusk. Dusk looks like the budget version now. So you saying that it's actually kind of crazy.
I would say, I would say the Zora pet, but I think I've just seen it so much, the snakeling,
Mm.
that it's kind of lost some of its like coolness,
Yep.
maybe.
Yep.
But the Zora pet, if I was to like look at the pets, that one is really cool looking.
You know what I like now? It actually it overtook my previous favorite, which was always the Nibbler pet, Baron, the Duke pet. You know,
Yeah,
little pink, like
yeah,
fucking ugly looking guy.
dude. The new DT2 pets are so cool.
They are. But Baron in particular, I got I spooned Lil Viathan at like 83 KC. That's the only DT2 pet I have so far, which was really cool because that was actually my least favorite of the 4 bosses to fight. But yeah, I really want Baron. I've been hunting that. Just went over drop rate. I'm like, no, going over drop rate is just there's something so depressing about it once you hit that drop rate.
Especially for pet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know I'm a drum on Twitch?
Yeah.
Have you
Yep.
seen?
Yep.
He does YouTube as well. He has the best Baron emotes, dude.
Dude.
When it came out, he made like all his emotes Baron emotes. They're so good. As soon as I saw him, I was like, that is genius. That is the best. Those are the best emotes.
I'm so glad you say that because I've actually vocally said that on my stream. He has the best emotes on Twitch right now. They are
So
insane.
good.
They're so fucking cute. They're so cute. Whenever, so I've been kind of like getting into like my synthwave phase on stream, so I listen to a lot of synthwave, and it's just got a lot of saxophone playing.
Oh, I
And
love that.
he has a I'm a drum sax. That little
Yep.
the Duke just
Yeah.
jamming out on the sax. I'm like, dude, that fits perfect. And then he has the I'm a drum hey, which is just like the little top hat. He's like kind of like holding it up like Milady, basically.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, yeah.
No, dude, it's so cute.
Oh, they're so good, man.
Yeah.
I loved was it Kieran? I think it was there was one of the Jmod streams and they had a Baron, like a button down Baron shirt. Did you see that?
No. Oh my
Oh,
god.
it was so dude, I'm like, why are we getting that as merch? I
Dude.
think did we get those as merch? I don't know. They were really cool though.
One thing I don't know if you saw this. So Witchy Crafty made those like original like plushies.
Yeah.
And the Baron one in particular, like her hand stitched one was amazing. And
Yeah.
then I think they kind of like partnered up with Creator Crafted, and obviously if they're going to be selling a ton of these, they need to get
Yeah.
it factory made. And seeing the factory one, I mean, I remember seeing a Reddit post of just like somebody actually getting it after seeing like what it was supposed to look like, and it didn't come out that way. And I'm like, oh yeah, I would love it if I don't know, because when you see the factory made ones versus the hand stitched, fully just taking time into making this really nice, it makes me actually wish I had gotten those original ones from Witchy Crafty, because like
Yeah.
those ones, she does such a fucking good job, and that Baron looked insane. It was so fucking cute. So
Yeah. man, the whole that was tough. You know, you feel bad because
I
it
feel,
is.
yeah,
I feel like all the best intentions were had. You
they
know,
were. It,
oh man, tough.
I felt so bad for her too, because she's like the sweetest person ever, and like she just was heartbroken by the fact that people are not satisfied with the product, and it's out of her control in a way. Like she wanted to partner up. If the factory, if they, like we know these are going to be slightly less quality, but we didn't know how much this was going to affect the quality of these products, and she can't just I mean, maybe she could if she wanted, if that's what her like thing is just hand stitch
I
all
don't
day
know.
forever, because there's a huge market for these plushies at this point. There's just so many people that want
Yeah.
them. So there's not really a way to just do that over and over. But yeah, I just felt so bad for her particularly. I keep fucking that word up. I need to get that word out of my vocabulary so I stop saying it so much. It's just so hard to say it properly. But
Particularly. Oh
yeah.
yeah,
It's
that you.
hard.
Oh,
It feels like you
I
can say
didn't
it.
either.
Like in my mind, I'm preparing to say it, and then I just can't get it out properly. It's like saying similarly. That's a tough one as well. Saying
I'm not gonna say it anymore because you're gonna get me all tripped up now.
yeah, but anyway,
I
those hand stitch plushies, I would really want to get some now if they remained like that hand stitch quality.
Yeah. Some of the stuffed animals that they've done, like they had a little KBD and the Neve and stuff. Those turned out really good. Um, I looked at those because like every time I see like RuneScape merch, I'm like, oh, that's sick. I really got to get that. And then I look at the prices though, and I'm
Yeah,
like, am I a grown man about to spend like $150 on stuffed animals? Be
yeah.
that that always gets me. I always get stuck there, to be honest. But I really want them. But maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Oh wait, let me. You were not the Michelin star restaurant in Orlando, were you,
No, I didn't. I didn't go to
bro?
that. No,
Because you're saying,
I just came for one night
oh, that's right.
and
That's
said
right.
my hey and headed out. But that
Uh,
looked really fun. How was that?
I mean, you were just talking about price tags. You're a grown adult paying a couple hundred or 100 for a stuffed animal, bro. That shit came. There was 23 people that went to that dinner, and
Yeah.
the total bill was $14,200. So we
Man.
all had to pay over $500 each
Oh
for
gosh. Dang.
one evening's dinner.
Now let me ask you. So
Yeah.
since you brought it up, and if you're not comfortable answering, that's fine. You guys split that up evenly, like
Not fully evenly. So
okay, yeah,
yeah.
because I don't really drink, and I seen a lot of alcohol in there, so that would be
I'm
oof.
I'm trying to I'm trying to think if anybody there didn't drink, because yeah, if as soon as the alcohol is involved, it's doubling the price at least.
Yeah,
So
that's the big one.
yeah, and people, I mean, we were just getting cocktails and wine, just everything. Like if we had just resisted the cocktails, that would have been enough to drop that bill by like 30% probably. But I mean, it was $1,000 just to have a reserved area for our big group. $1,000 just to have a reserved area for a few hours, and then it was a $2,500 service fee. That's not the tip
Wow,
or the tax. I mean that is the service that's being provided. $2,500,
man.
and then the alcohol. I think the food was just slightly more than the alcohol technically, but yeah. If you did, it got split up a little bit differently. So Bodie's table, he was with Tasty and everybody. We were all really close to each other, but on four separate tables with like 7 or 8 people each. And their table, like they ordered extra, whatever that pork was, the little cuts of pork. Like they ordered extra of that. They ordered extra alcohol. They ordered extra things like that. So their bill was probably like, for each of them and the 7 people there, was probably like 20% higher than the rest of us. But
Yeah,
yeah, just
what a cool experience, though.
oh yeah, it was such a good experience. So I don't regret it at all, because
Yeah.
I had never been to a Michelin star, but damn, like when you think of where that money could have gone.
Right, yeah. But that's an experience. You'll have that. You'll have that forever.
Yeah,
That's kind of how you got to look at that. Because
dude, and the
yeah,
food was insane.
That's the most important. That's important. That's good.
bro. You know, like,
Sometimes you see that stuff and then you're like, does that even taste good?
yeah. No, so this wasn't like one of those. Actually, there were some interesting plates. Like I will say, they had like this cauliflower plate that had like egg on it and some like
Ooh.
green sort of salsa, which sounds so weird, but they roasted it so nicely and it was super fresh and actually was really delicious, which is weird because you just see this plate and you're like, huh, like who is getting this? Um, but dude, when the main course came out with the wagyu steaks, it was like three different wagyus that came out. I have seen like wagyu steaks on like YouTube shorts and stuff. I follow a lot of like food shorts basically on YouTube, and I just binge that shit when I'm hungry. But yeah, when you see wagyu, you're like, okay, like this looks pretty good and tender, bro. That stuff was like butter melting in your
Oh
mouth,
wow.
dude. It was insane. I wanted to just live in that moment for hours. It was so good. It was unbelievably tender. Like the most tender, moist, hot, juicy, bursting with flavor. Just the best flavor. And it just melted like butter in your mouth. You're just chewing it and it just starts melting. It was just insane. It was so good.
I'm not a big steak person, but
You would turn into a steak person after
I
these.
was gonna
I
say
promise you.
I've had some good steaks, and when you have a good steak, I all of a sudden I'm a big steak person, but
Dude,
because yeah, a good steak is like one of the best foods, I feel like.
dude, I'm with you where if I go to a steakhouse, I'm usually getting seafood, honestly. I won't even get
I
the
same.
steaks.
That's me too. It's like if I'm gonna spend this money, I'm gonna get a salmon
Yep.
probably
Yep.
because I love salmon. And but that being said, I went to this place in New York City called Carmine's, and I the steak I had there, it might have been the best steak I've ever had. And I don't really like steak, but I was like, if all steaks tasted like this, this would be my favorite food. Like,
Yep. Yep. Dude, they so the girls that were there, there's like 7 or 8 of them. They all shared a table there. There's like a girls only table, and of course, the rest of us I mean, we got some big guys there, and so we're just shoveling food into our mouths. And so the girls' table, there's a lot of leftovers. And so the next morning, there were like a bunch of like pieces of steak left in the fridge because they actually like boxed it up and took it to go. Bro, that next morning I had probably like 12 pieces of it. I
yeah.
woke up, I went to the pool, got out and just like went to the fridge and just raided it. And I was like, bro, I'm eating this shit. Like I'm just going hard on this. And it was even leftover. When you think of leftover steak, you're just going to think, oh, it's going to be dry and rubbery. I just microwaved it, like that's the worst thing you can do. Dude,
Yeah.
I didn't need ketchup. Like, usually when you're eating some leftover steak, you just got to drown that shit in ketchup to make it bearable. Bro, this stuff was so buttery and moist still. It was insane.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, that's awesome though. That's the thing. You got that experience forever.
Yeah.
And but see, also though, does it kind of here's the thing sometimes when you do something that's like really good like that, but you can't keep doing it, it's almost like sad the next time you have a bad steak. It's like, man.
Yeah, yeah. I actually saw it in a different light though. I didn't judge I mean, yeah, that might be the case the next time I have steak, but I saw it in a different light where the experience was so good, but I remember feeling this kind of like pit of like, oh God, that was a huge blow to my, wallet. But the next day, I just ordered on DoorDash and just to get some food delivered to me for the evening. And I got this like really authentic local pizza place. And it was expensive relatively to, pizza, but it was like the cheapest thing ever relative to that dinner I had the night before. The pizza was like some like personal thing, just like 13 inch. Well, not personal. That's not really personal size, but it was a smaller pizza, about 13 inch, and came out to like $28, which is pretty expensive. But I'm like, bruh, this was like dirt cheap in comparison. So that's how I took it. I was like, oh, all food is so cheap now all of a sudden. Like, look at this.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah. After the big bill. That's funny. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't get to go to that. Yeah, I just dropped in for for the day, and like I said, that was my. I'm set for the next 4 years. You know, that was my social outing. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
oh shoot! But it was fun. It was really cool to meet all the
I'm
people there, and
I'm glad you came because just meeting everybody there is just such. I mean, I got to barely meet Roydy the first night as well. That was a treat because you just Roydy doesn't seem like a real person until I mean I've had him on the cast a couple times, so I've gotten to know him a little bit more personally, but in the flesh it was really cool. It was just a cool experience. It would be the same thing like meeting Bodhi for the first time last year was amazing, and
dude, Bodhi was so nice. I
he's
gotta
so
say,
nice.
like I love Bodhi. Bodhi, I don't watch a whole lot of like bigger streams. I do watch Bodhi, but like he was so nice in person, bro. Like he came up and was just like chatting me up. Like you could tell he just was like making sure I had somebody to talk to, kind of thing, because
Yep,
I didn't
he
know
does
everybody,
that.
kind of thing. So super cool, dude. That was awesome to see that even off uh stream, you know. So that
Yeah,
was dope.
he's really kind.
Now
There's
I gotta ask you,
yeah.
does Roydy sound the same in real life, or is there some microphone magic going on? Because that dude's voice is crazy.
There really isn't much mic. I will say, depending on your speakers, you'll hear more of a deep, like bass, like subwoofer kind of sound when you're listening to a stream. Like I have
Yeah.
this nice little speaker system going on, so when I watch a stream, I'm like, Jesus, dude, you're like sounding like you're just rumbling. But no, in person, his voice still is very deep, but you just don't get that full like background of just like. You know? So
Do you remember there was a
yeah.
streamer named I think it was Mathis? I want to say Mathis.
Yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
see him on
He was
like BT all the time. And his whole like shtick was, "It's real. I really sound like this."
dude, his voice was crazy. I love Mathis to death, but I swear that cannot be fully natural. Like that he
It's
has
gotta be,
he
bro.
he's
Yeah.
he's got to be pressing his voice in some way. Like he had to have like worked on that almost. Like there's no way your voice is like that. But he would get that so much. I would never bring that up to him because he's already getting
No,
enough
no.
trolls coming in and like, bro, like, you know,
And honestly, it's not a big
it
it's not a
really
big
isn't.
deal either way.
Yeah.
But it was really funny. Every time I'd see him on BE, I just that's honestly all I really know about him. But it was so funny. Just it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Oh,
mean, he
it's good.
clearly does. The thing is like, even if you're trying to, have a deeper voice for whatever it is, I mean, because, for example, Roydy clearly knows, and people know, like, a lot of people come to his stream because he does have that really nice, deep, rich voice. And it's just pleasant to listen to. And he's
Yeah.
also well spoken, which helps. So there is sort of that element of like I want to work on this in a way, which sounds like superficial and kind of weird, but ultimately like why not? Like why not like try to work on something that's clearly like a element of your stream?
I
So
follow Roydy for his living room aesthetic.
yeah, his like 7-year-old grandma like living room
I
looking.
love that, dude. It's so good. uh,
Speaking of like backgrounds and stuff, yeah, I remember when I first started streaming the first few years, it was just a wall like 2 feet behind me, just a blank wall. And I've definitely
yeah.
upgraded since then, but I get people asking if my background's like a blue screen or not, or green screen.
My first stream setup, this was again back when I was doing RS3. I had this little I literally emptied out my closet. And because my room was so small. And I put my desk like in the closet facing the camera was facing like the back of the closet wall. And I painted my wall green because back then, especially like on RS3, I feel like that was like the cool thing was having like the green screen, so you could like sit in your chair basically on the bottom of the screen. But now on old school, it's like I feel like it's worse to have green screen on old school. You want to have the cam in the top right with the background. It's almost like inviting people into your house, I feel like, so they feel like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's more personal than the green screen for sure.
I think you're right. It depends on the person. It's subjective ultimately, but you're kind of right. I like seeing people in their habitat, you know? And there's something, and this is my personal opinion. I like RuneScape streams that are on fixed mode and have the very basic, nice little format of camera taking up the mini map, and you got the nice little fixed thing. It just, for me, it's familiar, it's inviting. As soon as people start going like the super HD route and kind of
Yeah.
making everything super resizable, so their inventory is like not even visible hardly, and then they have a green screen in the bottom or something. It's just like, nah, this is unfamiliar. It's not as
That
inviting.
was that was one of my first like aesthetic choices I had to make when I started streaming old school because I was playing a little bit of old school before I streamed it. Um and I had been playing in like full screen with like the graphics maxed or whatever.
Hmm.
But then when I started streaming, I went and I looked at like all basically all the top streams, you know,
Hmm.
and without fail, every single one of them is playing in fixed mode. So I was like, all right, we gotta try fixed mode. And going from like full screen to the tiny client was so tough. It was so tough. But it just looks so much better
Do
when
you
you go live.
do you still play with just the typical small little fixed client?
Now I can't. Now I can't play with the big screen. I have to play in the fixed client. I'm so used to it.
Dude, I because listen, I have shitty eyes, so my vision sucks, and staring at a monitor, staring at a tiny little fixed screen sucks. I've been playing for years, like ever since I started streaming. I've been playing on a stretched fixed mode, so
Ah,
my
yeah, yeah.
fixed client's actually 4 times as large, and
That's smart. Yeah.
it's, I don't know. I mean, obviously it depends if you're already used to it and everything, but man, when I hear of people that want to play on a fixed but they hate looking staring at this tiny little thing, this is the way to do it, honestly. Like I'm a huge fan of the way I play.
I think I would really enjoy that. It's just that now I've gotten so used to
So
having like
used, yep.
multiple clients
Oh,
open.
that's true. That's a big,
And so that is really nice for the small. That's the biggest benefit I think is with the small clients is you can have like four on a screen at once.
yeah.
So that being said, I am I say that, but I am the worst multitasker ever. There was a streamer that I really liked. He hasn't been able to stream as much anymore, but his name was Sir Squinch, and he was like the rank 2 GIM for duos, and it was a dolo series, so he was doing both accounts at the same time, and he was like reading chat and like super interactive. Like I swear he didn't miss any messages while playing like not like basically max. I mean rank 2. Shoot, he's going hard playing two accounts. And I'm just like, man, I can barely play one. I'm like doing rooftops right now inefficiently while talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was funny at the based Orlando meetup, Whale came to me and he said, Beggar, you made me $10. And I was like, how did I do that? And he's like, the last time we had a meetup, I don't remember who he bet with, but he's like, I bet so and so $10 that you wouldn't leave the bank for 10 minutes. And
Did they just time it and just watch your stream?
yeah, they had me up on the big screen. I unaware to me, they got me on the big screen and like I said, my stream is just chatting with a side of RuneScape. I wish it wasn't. One day my goal, I want to be like good. Okay, one day I'm gonna be a PvMer. Okay, I'm not gonna be a great PvMer, but I'll be good and I'll be killing things. But yeah, they came in and Whale. I remember. What's funny is I remember it because Whale's like, he's prompting me, dude. He knows my weaknesses. He's like, yo, Beggar, what do you think of Taco Bell's new menu, dude? Or whatever. I don't know. He's got me going. Oh, that bastard. And so Bodie came up and he said, don't worry, Beggar. What we'll do is we'll go. I'll make the bet with him next time, and you just got to walk out immediately.
Oh,
So,
that would be
what
amazing.
What's funny though is they came in like a few nights after we met up. And I didn't think of it till after my stream. I'm like, oh God, what if they're betting on me leaving the bank again? I just cost Bodhi so much money probably.
I just
I totally forgot to leave the bank again probably. Oh God.
I just fucking love
Uh
that Whale would place a bet like that. That's actually just like I think he even that just sounds so familiar. I think I've been told that story before. It's fucking awesome.
oh, that's bad, man. That's bad. Yeah, that's basically that's kind of what I'm known for. I'm really good at bank stand. Did you ever watch like Alicia or like Raj Patel back in the day?
Of course, both of them.
Yeah, I unintentionally do what they did, where where like they pretend to play the game and just chat. See, I'm trying to play the game. I'm just really bad at multitasking. Oh shoot.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the way to do it though. It's just like it's I don't know. Let me ask you that. This is actually one of the Twitter topics. Something about like burning out. Like how do you keep yourself from burning out? Which is a question I'm occasionally asked, or it's a topic that's occasionally brought up with guests. And I feel like the
Yeah.
way you have it, I don't even know if it would be possible to like really burn out when you have such a casual experience with the game and streaming and stuff, because
Yeah.
people that burn out usually are have this thing in their mind going on like I need to constantly be doing something or else I'm going to lose viewers. So,
I think that there is definite I think there's two things. The most popular answer and one that I also agree with is having goals for yourself and for your gameplay. Like that is the best way is having goals. That being said, my biggest secret in addition to that, like I'm always working on something, right? Very slowly, albeit, but like right now, I have a master clue in the bank and I need full perilous moons armor. So like that's been my thing. It's like I want to get this, and then after that, it's like I got to get Fang. So like I always have something that I'm like working towards very slowly. Okay.
mhm.
So the goals is one thing, but yeah, I just do whatever I'm enjoying. That is my biggest secret to not burning out. If I'm doing something, and this is, I think there's not a lot of people that play like this because, like, some people will do a grind until they're like hating the game. Like, okay, like we brought up the guy going drive for scythe. He is miserable. He is hating life like terribly. Every time I go on his stream, he's like, "I hate this game." Like it does not seem like he's enjoying himself
I've
at
been
all.
there. Yep, yep.
So I do that to an extent because like sometimes it is fun to go like like working on the goal outweighs the fun of going for something outweighs the pain of it, right? So
Mhm.
I get that, but sometimes I just do something else, like sometimes I'll just be like, okay, this is awful. What's one that I really wasn't having fun with? Oh, demonic gorillas while streaming. I did not enjoy demonic gorillas while streaming because it's basically like a slayer monster that no one cares about, but you have to give it like the attention of a boss.
Yep.
Because, well, actually, not anymore because they added visual cues, which is so nice. So nice. Um, but like before that, like you'd have to sit there like and count the attacks and like see if the boulders fall in and all that.
Mhm.
And it was just like I hated that on stream. And so I just ended up doing something else and I kind of worked on that off stream. And so I think that's a big one for me is like doing what I'm enjoying. But also I don't go super hard. Like bingos. Bingos sound fun, but I think that's like of all the people I know that have like burnt out, most of them have happened during like bingos, I feel like, because you go like so hard for, a week, 2 weeks or whatever. And I don't know. It's stuff like that. And then like leagues. I've seen people burn out on leagues.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, I think that works really well for me. And then also like on my days where I'm not streaming, there are times, it's not all the time, but sometimes I will not let myself play like when I'm not streaming, just so that when I go live again, I'm like really looking forward to. like getting the gains in and like hopping on kind of thing. It's kind of like you said when you're like not allowed to have a monster, you like want it more.
Yep,
I kind of
yep.
I kind of do that to myself with RuneScape a little bit. It's like, okay, it's you're not streaming today, no RuneScape or whatever. And I don't stick to that 100%, but there definitely are times, especially if I'm like feel like I might be burning out, I will like not let myself play even if I want to. And then that always just like gets me like real rehooked to the game, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it is a good as a content creator. That's an amazing habit to build. Is like just if you're feeling like you could potentially be playing and not enjoying yourself on stream, just make sure you're not playing off stream then, just so you can
Yeah.
really get the most enjoyment from when you're actually behind the cam.
Yeah.
Um,
And that being
yeah,
said, I feel like as far as burnout goes, I mean, I'm coming up on 5 years of streaming, which is crazy. And I really don't think I've encountered like any like big burnout. Like there's days where I'm like, man, I want to sleep in today. But as far as like being sick of the game, I really have just not really had that. So that's been really cool.
that's sick. Yeah, that is optimal. So that question came from Mantis, and he also has another one I want to cover. If you could stream any other game, which game would you pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Um,
And do you consider yourself a gamer? I know a lot of people that play Scape exclusively tend to not even
I
have many other games.
I definitely would consider myself a gamer. I'm always playing like pretty much my whole life. I've always played 2 or 3 games at a time. So like usually like Scape and like some type of like shooter game. So like right now I play Scape and I'm actually playing a lot of games right now. Right now I'm playing Scape, Overwatch, V Rising, which is like a survival vampire game, which sounds really weird, but it's actually a super cool game. Um, and then I was playing Raft for a minute. I've never played that one. It's like a chill indie type game. It was cool, but it kind of not a whole lot to it, to be honest. But
Hmm.
it was fun. But yeah, I've always played RuneScape and at least one other game. So yeah, I'd say I'm a gamer for sure.
Would you stream any of those games? Do you stream any other game besides RuneScape, by the way?
I'd say 98% of my streams are RuneScape. Um, the thing with like variety content is, again, like I know that I'm not a Wooks or an Adicon or no one is watching me for the gameplay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So reading the chat is like priority number one for me. Interacting with my viewers, goofing around with my viewers, that is always like my priority. So when it comes to like, if for example Overwatch, I'm like silver, dude. No one wants to watch a silver Overwatch player, and I definitely can't read the chat. So that's why I don't stream games like that
Yeah.
because who's gonna watch that? I did stream like Supermarket Simulator, which is like a really stupid game. I did stream that a few weeks ago, and you know what? I actually had a pretty decent amount of viewers. Um, and so I did that, and then I had a really cool sponsor. I got sponsored to play the new season of Sea of Thieves,
Oh,
which is
damn.
that's a game that I love, dude. And I actually have a ton of hours in that game, so that was really cool. So I did stream that, and that's a game where, yeah, there are parts where you can't really read your chat, but a lot of it's just like sailing really slowly on a ship. So it was a pretty good game to stream. So yeah, I'm open to streaming other games. That being said, RuneScape's like been the constant in my life as far as video games go, and I've built my audience on RuneScape, and like you said, a lot of RuneScapers only play RuneScape. So I don't like to do too much variety just because I know that's not what my audience is looking for. Um, if I did stream another game, like firstly, that means RuneScape's dead. Okay. Like like if I switch my channel to another game, RuneScape is gone.
Yep.
Um and I have thought about that because like I do this is like my full-time thing. So I have thought about like what'll I do if like anything ever happened to RuneScape. And obviously it'd have to be another MMO. And right now, oh, by the way, 90 agility. Let's
Oh,
freaking
hell yeah. I
I've
noticed
been I've
The,
been chugging these agility potions this whole time.
there were a few moments where like we were crossing that like deadly jump right there, and I've seen you fall off a few times. Was that just because you forgot to drink a potion, or was that just the unluckiness of just?
There has been once or twice where it's the potion, but no, I've been getting unlucky a little bit. But
Ah,
yeah,
shit.
not anymore. Potions are done. 90 agility,
You
baby.
should still drink them though, just to like, boost you up a little bit more, so you don't fail as often. Unless you don't
Oh,
have
that's
many
smart.
left.
I've got half an inventory left. I made more than enough. Beauty.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Um, I'm sorry. What was the Sorry, I got distracted. What was
No,
the
so
question?
that's pretty much. I mean, you pretty much answered it.
Okay.
Mantis's final question is, "What is your favorite animal?" I think I have a suspicion. You have to tell me if it's
Oh, I
right.
remember what I was saying. I would probably play WoW, by the way. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh World of Warcraft. I feel like that'd be the best like crossover for my audience. And I've played World of Warcraft. I enjoy it. It seems like it would be fun, but like you can't play two MMOs. There's just too much time investment, I feel like.
You're right.
And RuneScape has my heart. So if RuneScape ever died, we'd try it out maybe. Um, okay, I'm sorry. Next question. Something about an animal?
Yeah. What's your favorite animal?
Oh gosh. See, if I don't say panda,
Yeah,
like my
that's what I'm
people will
thinking.
people will be very upset. It's not a panda. I'll say that.
Oh
I don't
God.
know.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite. I guess like a dog. I have a dog, so like I love my dog. Um, oh, man, I don't know. It's tough. Pandas are cool. I like pandas. Bodhi's whale thing is pretty epic. The whales are That's a good mascot, I gotta say. I'm jealous of the whale. I've also thought like jellyfish. Jellyfish are cool, but that's not really an animal, is
Yeah, it
it?
is. A sea
Yeah, it
creature.
counts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jellyfish are cool. I don't know. Pandas.
Yeah. Just say jellyfish, then just say pandas now. That's the actual answer. That's what we all want to hear.
Pandas are my favorite, dude. I freaking love pandas, bro.
Okay.
Red pandas,
Th-
all of them, dude.
this you're gonna be teaching me something here because I've gotten a few of these topics, but we're gonna cover
Okay.
Potato Hime's questions in particular. Ask him about the ladder, his hat, and being the ass whisperer.
Oh, come on. Okay.
So
Okay.
what's
Thank
happening
you.
there? You're gonna have to.
Thank you, potato. Okay, let's go in order. So, the ladder. This was the best return on investment I've ever had. And it happened completely by accident, okay? 3 years ago, okay? 3 years ago, I made a hardcore. Not even like I couldn't have even been like 6 hours in, okay? I'm following the Osiris guide. And you do um oh gosh, I just went blank. What's the snail quest on the docks? Oh gosh.
Sea slug. Wait,
I'm
what?
doing Sea Slug.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
doing Sea Slug because there's no monsters. It's crazy fishing XP, and I'm already in Artie um from doing the Osiris guide, right? So it's like, okay, let's do Sea Slug now. I'm doing Sea Slug. I'm on the docks again. Chat with a side of RuneScape. I'm reading my chat. I'm a level 3 hardcore. I look over, and wouldn't you know it, one of the zombie dock hands is attacking me. I didn't even know these guys could attack you. But guess what? I look over, he's right behind me. He's yelling at me. So I'm like, oh crap, they must have made it so like as part of the quest these guys attack you. This dude's yelling at me, bad beggar, da, 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 pay attention to me or whatever. I'm like, oh god, I'm half HP. I see my HP at half. So I'm like, I gotta get out of here. What's the fastest escape plan? There's a ladder that by the way, had already clicked the stupid ladder, but my guy didn't go up. So I'm like, I gotta get away from this guy. So I spam click the ladder. In retrospect, that was a big mistake because I wasn't actually getting attacked by one of the zombie dock hands. It was the Grave Digger random event who holds the spade over his shoulder like a fishing pole, okay? And he kind of waddles around like a zombie, so he's kind of blending in with the other guys, okay? Now, again, I was distracted. If I had been paying attention, I would have seen him spawn in, but I wasn't paying attention. I was reading chat. So when I look back over, I see this zombie-looking dude yelling at me. It's the Gravedigger, and he's saying, "Hey, Mr. Beggar, I need your attention," or whatever, okay? I see him yelling at me. My HP is at half because I clicked on the ladder before lighting my torch. Okay.
Oh no.
And the zombie, the guy, the fisherman at the top, bonked me on the head. Well, when I spam clicked that ladder, it registered multiple hits, and so I died. I died to this ladder.
God.
The clip is freaking hilarious. It is so absurd, and I actually posted on YouTube. It's like my second most viewed YouTube video. It's just a little short of it, and of course, you know, the reaction is over the top for the audience, of course. But also, I was shocked. I was shocked. I had no idea what was going on. It is a pretty funny clip, but chat, of course, will not let me live it down that I died to a ladder. Literally 3 years ago, this happened, and I still get, like, people will come in my chat and they'll post, like, a ladder emoji and stuff like that. Like, it's bullying, is what it is. These guys are out of control. But honestly, best return on investment ever. I mean, that was like 6 hours worth of content and they're still talking about it years later. So let's freaking go.
Damn.
So that's the ladder death. And by the way, RuneLight added a highlight to the glass, so you make sure to click it and light the torch first. Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know if that was because of me, but I'm just saying that's a change that happened. So I kind of sacrificed myself for the greater good.
Hell yeah. The hero we didn't deserve. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's the ladder. The hat thing, we kind of already went over the hat thing. It started as like a meme, and then it just kind of turned into chat bullying me to wear the hat, and it's kind of become my thing. It is not a furry thing. A lot of people are like, "Are you a furry?" I'm not a furry. Okay, I just want to get that on the record. Now, listen, if you're a furry, that's cool. Like, you guys go do your furry stuff or whatever. But like, I am not. Okay, so like, leave me out of that. It's just a panda hat. Okay, that is there is a lot of jokes about the animal hat, to be fair. Although we've gone to a less, and it's now it's just like a logo on a beanie. It used to be like a hat that
I
like
used to have like the ears and stuff, right?
Yeah. The person that I bought those from has ran out, and so we have switched to just a beanie with the logo or whatever. So, and
hopefully it deters a little bit of the accusations of being a furry as well.
yeah, it's cool. So yeah, that's the hat thing, and then the ass whisper. Okay, this is some bullcrap. This was Behe, dude. Behe has ruined my life, and he's out of control. This has been going on for like a year at this point as well. Basically, what happened is one of my viewers was like, "Yo, Beggar, you're talking out of your ass." And I said, "Yeah, that's right. They call me the ass whisperer." And that was it. It was just a joke, okay? It was just a joke. But the Behe channel, firstly, the Behe channel is out of control. It's basically propaganda, okay?
It's the Fox News of OSRS.
Exactly.
That is self-proclaimed by them, by the way. I heard that.
You know, I'll get like a twisted bow. Does he make it on the channel? No. But Beggar says he's the ass whisperer, and it's 5 o'clock news, you know? So yeah, Behe takes this clip of me going, "They call me the ass whisperer," and then he edits in another clip of me going like, psh, 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 or some bullcrap. and if that's not enough, dude, I kid you not, he made like 4 videos basically doubling down on calling me the ass whisperer, to the point where one of the best exposures my channel's ever had has been from the amount of people. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of people coming in, and first time chatter, Hey, look, it's the ass whisperer.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, he's out of control. Um, but
You
it's
know
cool,
that's a lawsuit waiting to be filed.
Well,
Yeah,
I'll tell you what happened. I made an expose video basically detailing the entire thing.
debunking
Okay,
it.
debunking it. Yeah, absolutely. And shortly after that, all sources tell me that Behe was financially ruined and had to sell the channel to the base crew. I mean, that's the real reason that you don't see him as much anymore. Retired in shame for his lies and slander. So just to set the record straight again, there, that's the real reason he's gone.
That is ironic because we really haven't seen any more ass whispering since the new team got set up with Behemoth. So maybe there is a little
Yeah.
bit of truth to that.
Although I don't know, they are just as bad. I got to tell you, when they took over, I was like, oh, finally, a little more respect around here. But no, I kid you not. I don't know who's. Firstly, my viewers are menaces because I know it's them sending these stupid clips. I literally got on Behe one day for blowing my nose, and it wasn't even like a. It's not like I made like a crazy sound while blowing my nose. It was literally just like a regular nose blow, and it's a clip. Why is that a clip? I see the comments. People are like, "Why is Beggar on the video? He's not even playing RuneScape." I'm with you, brother. I don't know. They got me blowing my nose out here. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's happening, but yeah, I thought surely it'd get better, but no, it's just gotten worse.
Well, but
They're out of control.
well, Behemoth still does play a part in that mildly. So who knows? Maybe it's him slipping in some clips just for
I
vengeance,
see.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. I don't know. I'm starting to suspect this asterisk guy. I seen him on your podcast the
Oh
other day,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
I
Maybe
don't know. He
I
might.
never. I'll
Hmm.
I'll have to pick his just find out what's really going on. I don't think I went deep enough in the whole lore of Behemoth. The dark side of it all.
Yeah. There's some serious dark sidery going
There's
on
some
there.
serious mustache twirling behind the scenes, just doing something really fucked up. Okay,
Yeah, no, but no
there's
big deal.
one more piece of lore I think that I'm missing though from Hedron. So ask him about the
Oh God.
spaghetti pot.
No, you know what? I saw that comment and I was afraid you were gonna do that.
Oh no.
This is the worst. I don't know. See, here's the thing. This is her lore. Okay, this has nothing to do with me. Hedron was a regular, okay, in my stream before she abandoned me, okay, for Good No Monkey, which is great, okay, love that for them. But she came in here into my stream and she wrote what looked like a copy pasta, okay, and it actually turned out to become a copy pasta, but it was a story that she had because we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about something, but she told us a story about a time that, and I apologize. You're the one that asked this question, so this is your fault. But she told a story
I'm
about,
just the deliverer of the message. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm apologizing to you for this story because it's the worst. But
Oh
basically,
god.
she told us about a time that she got so sick that she had to use the restroom, but she couldn't. Someone was in the restroom, and so she was in the kitchen and she pulled out a spaghetti pot
Oh no.
and and
Oh
and you
god.
had to use this spaghetti pot as a receptacle and
Oh
went
my
into
god.
graphic dude, I'm telling you, this thing was like a big old this was like a big old copy pasta, and graphic detail about sweating bullets and sitting over this pot. It was disgusting.
Oh
It was
my
vile.
god.
And I'm sitting there reading it, right? Because that's kind of what you do as a streamer. You read what you're responding to so people know what the heck's going on that are just listening. And so I'm like reading this and like every word that's coming out of my mouth, and there's just more disgust. Because I'm a little bit of a germaphobe, okay? And so this story is hurting me to my core. And I'm just disgusted. And she thought that was the funniest thing ever. So she clipped it and like she'll tell everybody about the spaghetti pot or whatever. But it's disgusting. It's disgusting and it's not right. And by the way, it gets worse because I say, Hedron, you don't have that spaghetti pot anymore, right? And guess what? She still has it. She still has it. And if this is a message to anyone that ever meets Hedron or knows Hedron, don't eat spaghetti at her house. Okay?
Don't let her
Because
serve you spaghetti. Yeah, real
I'm
talk.
pretty sure. I think she's still using that pot. So that is the spaghetti pot story, and I'm sorry that you had to
Nah,
hear
you're
that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, the audience deserved that. They needed to listen. They needed to hear that. We just lost half of them. They're gone.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah,
Oh
this is
shoot.
enough for today. So we already covered this one, but Nedscape is saying, "Is it true you are balding under the hat?" And I'm not even going to let you respond to this. I'm going to respond to this. He is not. He is. He is. I mean, most men will eventually bald in their lifetimes, but this man has a very nice set of hair, and it was surprising. It was nice. So
You know what's funny is I've only taken the hat off on stream a handful of times. And every time I've taken it off, I've either been bald or had really long hair. And so I started to do it as like a joke where I if I took the hat off and I was bald, I would grow my hair out really long. And then the next time I would take it off, it'd be really long. And so I think that is some of the confusion because Ned's like a regular. Ned's been around forever. And I think even some of my regulars are like, I don't actually know because, you know, there's been conflicting hat reveals, you know?
interesting, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
keeping them confused. That's actually smart.
Yeah, yeah. But it is funny. The people there seems to be a trend where like it turned out it's kind of lucrative, to wear this hat because like there's people that are like, how many subs to take the hat off? And like anytime you don't want to do something as a streamer, you just like list a ludicrous price. That is the secret.
Yep, yep.
And and I'll be honest, I've done that and people have removed the hat still. But the thing is, whenever you remove the hat, they always want to go like a step further. Twitch chat is the worst. They always want to go a step further. It's never enough. You take the hat off. Now what? Oh, you got to shave your head. Okay, how many subs to shave your head? Okay, here you go, shave your head. And then it's like what? The eyebrows? It's like this. Can't you guys be happy? I took the hat off. Now I'm sitting out here. I've never actually done the eyebrows. I won't do the eyebrows.
Eyebrows are
It'd be
terrifying. You hear the horror stories of them not growing
yeah.
back fully.
Yeah. Anytime there's something I like don't want to do, I'm like 1,000 subs, or
Yeah,
whatever it is.
you got to send it. Yep.
Oh man. But yeah,
Um,
it's never enough for Twitch chat. It's never enough. They always want
it
some.
never will
It,
be.
it
You
was
got
really funny. I just did a charity stream and we raised a bunch of money and like at the end they're like, Beggar, you really should do something for da da da. And I'm like, okay, guys, we just finished this one. Like, give me a break here. Well, maybe we'll do that too. Settle down. Like, oh shoot, they always want something more.
this next question actually might be related. You're gonna have to let me know. But what is the hardest lesson you've had to learn from Twitch? Is it that
Ooh,
they're
that
never
is.
sat? Is it that your audience is never satisfied, or is it something else that comes to mind?
Oh man, that is a tough one. The hardest thing I've had to learn. I mean, you take a lot of criticism online. I think dealing with criticism and like I think something too is like there's a balance between okay, here's a good one. Trolls. Get a lot of trolls, okay? Especially being like a bigger guy on the internet. It's just an easy target. And not because of the size, just because okay, whatever. Anyways, you get a lot of trolls and there is a balance between getting good content out of trolls, like like farming the trolls kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and giving them the attention that they're looking for. Because like if you give a troll attention, like they're gonna continue doing like whatever it was.
And
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
get
become
worse.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I have definitely like um gotten content out of like goofing on some trolls. And it's been really fun for the audience or whatever. Um, but like I've also taken it too far to where like okay, I've created like an enemy that will like not leave me alone for, however long. So I think like learning to ignore trolls and like not get too crazy about, making fun of them or whatever cuz I don't know.
You're right.
Letting stuff letting stuff slide off, I guess. That's been a tough lesson to learn. And you know what's another one is there's always the talk about like parasocial relationships online. And I don't know about you, but like I stream a lot and like I have the same regulars like a lot. I have a very tight audience, and like you do become attached, or at least I do, to some of my viewers. And it's like, oh man, where, like, just as a friend, right? Where is so and so kind of thing. And over the years, people come and go, and as a streamer, you really have to distance yourself from like that parasocial aspect of streaming, because it can be it can be sad when like some of your regulars just like disappear or whatever. So that's been a good lesson I think I've learned, is kind of like not getting too personal with your viewers or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Do you
interesting.
have that at all? Do you get like connected to your viewers in a way that it feels like they're like your friend almost?
I wouldn't. Well, I can't say it's to the point where like you've described, because one, like I'm already pretty like, I don't know, antisocial. Not like antisocial, but just I'm really good at just being alone and just keeping to myself. And I have a really bad habit of not keeping up with actual friends in real life. So like in college, I made a bunch of friends, and as soon as I dropped out of college, it was just like I just barely connected with. I mean, there was a couple that I sort of connected with, over the years, but a lot of them I just never messaged again. Basically, it's just like I just moved on, and you have this like feeling like, oh yeah, like we're always going to be friends, whatever. But then you don't talk for a few years, and it's like, oh shit, we're not really friends anymore. We're just like, our lives have moved on. So I still have that bad habit of not like fully reaching out all the time to like my friends that I really do value, like their friendship. So I never have had a problem, I feel like, with becoming almost too attached, especially online. Don't get me wrong, though. I value deeply like a lot of the friendships I've made online, but I just don't feel like I become emotionally attached too much. There's been a few occasions, which I won't go into, where maybe something potentially romantic could have happened with something, and then the emotions get a little bit more like fucked up. But yeah, ultimately it's just, no, I don't really have that problem. But I will say the first thing you had mentioned, the humoring trolls, there is a very, very like fine tightrope to walk, that like just you can't give them too much attention, but ultimately you kind of want to just play along, but just
Yeah.
briefly. And that's something you learn over time with the years. And you're right. Like no matter who you are, you will be trolled online and you'll be bullied online. Like people will just be ruthless with you. I get it a lot. And it's just, you just have to understand that is just what online is. People are anonymous. They can say whatever the hell they want. And you just have to distance yourself from it, because it's weird first entering the content scene. And when you haven't been like chronically online, it's like everybody's just a good, people are so welcoming and nice in real life. And so you kind of get this picture of the world like, oh, everyone's just like a good person. And then you get into the online sphere and like you just kind of expect, you kind of have this sense of like, oh yeah, everyone's still like a nice person, right? And like, no, that illusion just breaks down like big time. You start seeing actual creatures online that will say the worst things and do some pretty bad things, and it's like, oh shit, okay, I can't be as like trustworthy with people or
Yeah.
trusting. Yeah. So yeah, but I do know what you mean when you say like the whole parasocial thing. Like, you do have to distance yourself enough, and you have to understand that there will be times where you will talk to a regular viewer for the last time, and you don't know when that's going to be. And so you just have to keep, I don't know, you just have to understand that like some of
Yeah.
these friendships won't
I
last forever.
I think for me too, it's like, um, you see the same people in your chat, and they like you get used to seeing them, and um, at the end of the day, it's like I'm just like probably a very small portion of like a lot of people's day. You know, it's like I'm just a like TV station basically, you know? And you got to remember that. Like obviously some people you're a big part of their day or
Hmm.
whatever. But for the majority of your audience it's like people going to watch for like 30 minutes and then move on with their day and that's cool. I actually thinking of it like that has helped me a lot, I think.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's good to put things into like a bigger perspective, just understanding like, oh yeah, this is not like people are not just like, oh my god, like I can't wait for this person to go live so that my day will be made. It's like, no, just because because I'm a Twitch viewer myself. I'm on Twitch a lot and I like popping into streams, but ultimately like if it's not like I need a certain stream to survive that next day. Obviously, that's not everybody's perspective on it. Some people really do find a lot of value in watching certain streamers, but yeah. Okay. Kind of wrapping up on the questions, but there's one right here. This is always one I love asking. If you could change something in the game with no poll, what would you change?
Oh, with no poll. Oh, that's tough. Hmm. Oh, that's such a good question. There's so many things that are like buzzing through my head, but like okay, I don't know about you. I'm so excited for sailing. I am totally scared of like what it could be, right? But ultimately, I feel like our team of JMods, like I trust these guys to do like a really good job, you know? And sometimes I think that if you just give like creative people the space to like be creative and do creative things, like they'll come up with like really good stuff. So off the top of my head, I'm like, just let them go crazy with sailing. I don't know, like, but I don't know. Ultimately, I really like the poll system, so I don't know if I'd want anything to go in. I'm not smart enough to say what's best for the game, I feel like. I really am a big fan of the polling system, and I think especially coming from like RS3 and seeing like how out of control it got with like the power creep and like the XP just like becoming completely meaningless. Like I'm a fan of AFKing, okay? But like RS3 AFK skilling just got like insane. Like it should not be the best XP per hour. Um and then like all your other skilling is like I don't know, the XP rate just got so devalued. So I'm a big fan of the polling overall. So um I'll tell you what I would change without polling. Raise the cap back to 75%. There we go.
Ooh, spicy take.
Yeah, there we go. That's I'm gonna actually my poll without polling is for the polling. Yeah, put it back at 75, and then maybe like it is difficult. I understand why they lowered it, and it had to be for PvP polling because nothing was getting through for PvP. So like maybe make like a special exception for PvP updates to get past, but everything else 75%. Make it tough again. Oh shoot.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you on your first point about sailing. Just let the team really have a lot of freedom. I think they do have enough freedom, but yeah, if they feel limited and they know something could be extremely fun and very valuable to the skill, I would love to let them have that freedom to explore making the skill as fun as possible. So,
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
all right.
I think that's gonna be the next big boost for the game, honestly.
Totally agree. I think it'll if it's executed properly, which I believe it really will be, because like you said, I agree with the team knows what they're doing and they deeply care about the game. Yeah, I think we're in good hands. Okay, there is a question here. Do you have collect? I know there's streamers that have their little collections of things. He's asking, what item
Oh.
have you collected the most of?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I love collecting. It's one of my saddest parts about being an iron is that I like can't hoard. I think I think I was I think I cope. I think I would be a hoarder in real life if it wasn't for RuneScape. Like I get my hoarding out. I'm actually like a my stream background is like the messiest thing in my whole life, but I feel like I'm a little more on the minimalist side, but it's because of RuneScape and being able to hoard all this crap. Yeah, I've loved collecting forever. I've always thought it was so weird. Um, I remember people like collecting burnt food, and I'd see these huge stacks, and I was like, "What in the world?" So in RS3, I had 300,000 white toy horses, and
Holy
back
shit.
then you could only get them like 10 at a time from Diango. They've actually added more ways to get them, I think.
Oh
But
my
back then it was
god.
10 at a time from Diego. And so what I would do is I would go like world to world and I would hire people to buy like free to players to buy, and it was like the best. I was only paying them like 500K an hour, but that was like the best money you could make in free to play. So they would buy me, you know, a few thousand horses at a time kind of thing. And I did that for a really long time, and then eventually traded that for like a purple party hat with like some cash.
Wow.
I don't remember what the value was for it, but um, that was my big RS3 collection. In old school, I got into old school, and one thing you figure out about like collecting is that if you're patient and it's something you enjoy, there's like kind of decent money. Not anymore. I feel like it's super saturated, but like a while ago, there was pretty decent money in collecting because like if you're just having fun with it, at some point someone will come along and be like, I'll pay. Like I had a guy pay, and this was a really long time ago. This price isn't actually that crazy anymore, but back then it was crazy. He paid like, I want to say like 3,000 per burnt shrimp, which is still crazy. It's still crazy, but it was even more crazy back then. And I was like, yeah, dude, here's like 200,000 burnt shrimp or whatever. And so there can be like good money in collecting. So when I came to old school, I was like, this is like a known moneymaker to me, and I enjoy doing it anyways. So I basically would just collect stuff and sit on it until somebody offered like some crazy price. And it was especially lucrative when the duel arena was around because these people have no idea what money is worth. They literally have zero concept of GP value. And so you're like, hey, you want to buy a beer collection for like double what it should cost? And they're like, yeah, dude, here you go. so so that was actually like one of my first like money makers when I came back to old school was doing like collections and then like merching to duel arena people that just were like, yeah, I want a 10 mil stack or whatever. But I really do love it, and now at this point it's kind of, I don't actually play my main anymore, but I do the giveaway nights on Friday and Saturday. And I was kind of saying it earlier in the podcast here is it's my account is like not even mine anymore. It's like the community's account. And people just they give me all their junk. They're like, here, beggar, put this in the thing. And so we actually have like, I don't even know how many 10 mil stacks. I think I'm coming up on three lines, so like 20 something 10 mil stacks. Um
Holy
and
shit.
and it's just from before. I had been collecting before I started streaming, but like I had like nothing even worth talking about. Now, because of my viewers. So again, I can't take credit for any of this. This is like the community's collections, right? Um, but I have 150 million cabbage seeds,
Oh my
which
god.
to my knowledge, okay, is like we have been looking. Listen, anyone listening, if you know somebody with more than 150 mil cabbage seeds, send them to Beggar Official Stream. We got to see it. We're looking for somebody with a bigger seed collection. We can't find them.
What
But
is the biggest stack of anything that's not platinum tokens or GP?
oh,
Like
I'm sure people have max stacks
of
of
what? Like just though the
I
like
would
I've never
I don't
seen anything that's actually been a max stack of anything.
Yeah, that's a good question. There are definitely people out there that have like just the most insane color. Like they'll dwarf anything you've seen in a video, but they don't like show it because they like scared of getting hacked or whatever.
Holy shit.
Um, there is a Discord. There is a collection Discord where people like share that kind of stuff. It's really cool. Um, Although,
What is the craziest collection you've ever seen? If you're in that disc, I mean,
oh,
it sounds like people that would have the craziest ones don't even leak it. But like, what's
so
something you've seen in particular?
the craziest one I've ever seen was before I came to old school, and it was a rare collection, and they had just thousands of like every single party hat. It has to be like one of them. I don't know. That's the thing. You don't know who like the really rich people are, I feel like. But it had to be like one of the richest accounts of the game. It was insane. On old school, I've seen some of my favorites are like the 10 mil burnt food stacks. I've seen a few of those where they have like 10 mil burnt food stacks. That's pretty crazy because you can't trade those on the Grand Exchange and stuff. So those are cool. I've seen 10 mil of like leather, which the buy limit is like really, really low for. And the other thing that's interesting about, I have like a brass necklace collection that I really like. It's only like 200,000. But the thing that I love about it is even if you want to hit the buy limit for it, it's going to become like very expensive very quickly because after like the first, because you can only buy every 4 hours before you hit the limit, right?
Mm.
So once you hit the limit, which is very low, I think for I don't know what it is for brass necklaces. It's been a while since I've bought any collections. I'm gonna be honest. But the limits are really low, and the buy limit for brass necklace 150 every 4 hours. So you can only get 150 every 4 hours.
Jeez.
Even if you buy that limit, okay, you're gonna buy up like the whole stock in a day. Because nobody's picking up brass necklaces and selling them on the Grand Exchange. So like even if you put an offer in and you're not on limit, you're gonna have a tough time getting the brass necklaces. And at some point, even if you put in like a ton of money, right? Like right now on the Grand Exchange, they're selling for like 197 coins. You could put an offer in for like 5,000. And after like the first like few days, you're not going to get any because no one is selling brass necklaces anymore, you know? So that one's really cool
Wow.
to me. I like that
So you have
collection a lot.
you said you have 200,000 of them.
Yeah, that one I got 200,000
Jesus.
of or so. Yeah. So yeah, I got I went for so my first big one was cabbage seeds. That was like the big one, and the reason I did it is because people wanted to give me something, but like I didn't really want to take things from people. Like I love taking things and giving them to people, but like I really didn't want to take anything for myself. Like that's not what I wanted to do. But people were like really wanted to give me stuff. So I was like, okay, you know what? You can give me cabbage seeds because it's like, okay, they're 1 GP. You can only buy like 600 every 4 hours. So it's like they're not going to spend, a lot of money. So I felt like that was a fair trade. But anyways, it just devolved into people just giving me whatever they have. And so now we have like I have a whole tab dedicated to collections and the entire first page is all over 100K stacks and I think the first three lines are 10 mil stacks. So it's really cool. It's really fun. And I'll never sell any of that stuff. I told my stream, I said, if we ever do sell it, we're gonna sell it for like way more than it's worth, and then we're gonna like give it away, like to the to the viewers or whatever. So I'm always looking for fun ways to like uh to give back. I think this year, I've been doing this for 4 years. We've given out like over 100 bill, which is just
Jesus.
that's insane, dude. Like we got this one guy, and and the thing is, I'm very careful too about like where we take the money from, because like I don't want anyone to get like a real world trade ban. And so like I always try to verify like people's boss kills. I think what's happened now is the people that come to my stream, they came when they were like new players, right? Because that's usually who's looking at a giveaway stream
Mm-hmm.
is people that are getting back into the game or whatever. Well, anyways, they hang around, and so like now they're doing like Tob and they're doing TOA and all this and that, and so they started in my stream and so now they're giving back, and so it's really cool. It's kind of just come full circle to where, because when they banned the duel arena, that was where a lot of our donations had come from, was like stakers and stuff. And I thought when that went away that it would stop, but no, it's like now now the regulars are doing PvM, and they're always like just coming and giving back to the people. So it's been really cool. I love doing it. It does it it's a mixed bag because on one hand, I love giving back to people, but there is like a negative connotation for sure about like doing giveaways as a streamer, I feel like. Um
It has to.
maybe
Yeah.
it's in my head, but
No, no, no,
I
no. You're
definitely
right
feel
about
like
that.
there's a lot of negative association and also like which I do get a lot of it because like there is a lot of sketchy there's a lot of sketchy giveaway streams for sure. Like there was that thing people were doing where they'd like, I don't know if you know about this, but they would do like re-roll. They would like re-roll
Yeah.
your prize for
Yeah.
money. Yeah, there's always been stuff like that going on. That I feel like puts it in a bad light when you do giveaways. But also on top of that, like especially now that I've gotten more into the Iron Man, like I have a lot of viewers that they just want to see the gameplay. And I totally get that. It's a tough balance for me because like growing up, the drop parties and giveaways and stuff like that, that was like so exciting for me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that got me back into the game a lot. So on one hand, I have like this super nostalgic feeling about it where I want to like keep doing that. But on the other hand, it's like I want to level up. So I don't know. It's fun. It's fun. I do think about changing it up every once in a while. We'll see. But
Yeah, you're right about the negative connotations that come with it, but you've been doing it for so long, and it's very clear that you are actually just there to have a good time with people and to give back. It's not, there's nothing malicious behind it, and you're right where there have been so many streams that have come and gone where there's clearly bad incentives going on, and there's clearly
yeah.
something ulterior motives to like, ooh, I could, just I could benefit from giving away all this like really greatly. Like obviously there's a benefit to having a large community that's it's all wholesome vibes and stuff, but it can go
Yeah.
south quickly. And just the fact that you've been able to maintain just, I mean, you literally have said it as well. It's like this, it's almost nostalgia for you. Like you played the game. You're very, when you talk about, you playing old school, almost like reliving those days of going to draw parties. That's my little brother. He doesn't really play the game at all anymore,
Hmm.
but there were times where he'd play, and whenever
Yeah.
he would log in, it was go to the Grand Exchange and look for a draw party, and that's
Yeah.
how he enjoyed
Yeah.
the game. So
And like I said earlier, like 70% of players haven't killed mole. I feel like those people they love that's like what they look forward to. So it is very cool to do that. And I try to do it in like the most wholesome way.
hmm
Um it's funny because people are like, well, why don't you just give it all away at once? And my answer to that is I'm trying to give away as like much gold as possible. If I gave it all away all at once, like it would have been my first stream and it would have been like a 10 mil giveaway.
yep,
And we would have been out of money. But like I have you ever seen Mr. Beast? How
hmm
his videos just keep getting like bigger and bigger and bigger.
yep,
That's
keeps
kind of how I
reinvesting
feel.
into it.
That's how I feel like this is gone. Cause like when I started, my total like we do like a goodie bag, right? And so it started with like 10 mil of prizes. My top prize was like a whip that I had. And now I've given out like multiple Tumican shadows, multiple sites, multiple Ellie's. Like I think our goodie bag is like 10 bill right now. It's crazy. So that's why it's not just given away all at once. It's not because I'm being selfish or greedy. Like, you know, I'm trying to like because the bigger it gets, the more people come to the stream, and the more people that come to the stream, the more like rich people that are like, oh, this is cool. Let me give something for the boys here, and it's just kind of blown up in this huge thing. So it's been fun. I don't know. I like it.
That's what's also important. If you gave it all away, you get fun for that little brief moment, but if you keep it going, there's a lot more fun to be spread around. So
Yeah. It does suck though about the negative parts of it, but
yeah.
ultimately I know that I have good intentions and like it does bring people a lot of joy, but it is tough because like I know that a lot of my like dedicated audience they like hate giveaway night. They're like, I just want to watch you like make gains on the Iron Beggar. I don't want to like win GP. So it's tough. I'm getting like a little bit of a split in my audience, and I'm like, what do I do?
I think you should just keep doing what you're doing. Just listen to your heart, man. You know, like if people, it just you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do. So the giveaway
Yeah.
nights are great. It sounds like you're having a fucking great time streaming. Sounds like you have like a really nice balance, and yeah, I hope it all goes well. And I want to wrap things up now, but before we wrap things up entirely, I want to ask you for a few shout outs. So, do you have any
Oh,
shout outs from the
oh man.
community?
Dude, there is so many. I have met so many awesome players. Um, dude, Potato Heim's been blowing up. I don't know if you follow Potatoes UIM.
Yeah, just
She's
got
been crushing it, dude.
the Infernal Cape
Um,
plus Nibbler, right?
yeah, she just got the Inferno on the UIM. That's crazy. So yeah, shout out my original. I did a GIM like when it first came out. So shout out Potato, Molly Music, Radish Boy, Hamzy IRL, the Legends. That's my GIM for life. But honestly, there's so many I could shout out. But shout out my viewers, shout out my mods for putting up with me, and yeah, shout out the Sae Bae listeners. Much love to you guys for listening to me yap this whole time.
No, this was fucking great, honestly. I was honestly after meeting you in person, I was really excited to sit down and have a conversation because I don't know. I could just tell there's positive energy radiating from you. So I'm like, you know what, this is just
Oh
gonna be
heck
just
yeah, dude.
a good time. So
Well,
I
thank you so much for having me on. When is your GIM? When is your hardcore group coming out?
dude, it's like so I can't leak. Well, maybe you heard who's on it.
Okay,
I can't know,
okay.
but I can't leak who's exactly on it. But the problem is like I wanted to start this like a month and a half ago, but you know, because of the element of there being multiple people on, people are trying to figure out if they're fully going to commit to the team. So there might be a
Mm,
few people we might replace. It just we're gonna
well,
figure things out hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
I'm excited to see that. Shout out Sae Bae for the freaking easy toad bata step. Okay, that is the most useful video I have ever seen in my life. I hated that step so much, and I tell all my viewers to watch that video now whenever I get that step.
Dude, the
So,
crazy thing is that step. I think in the description of a video, I give the shout out. It was just some non-content creator, but DM'd me one day, and he's like, "Oh, did you know you can like get pushed from this wall down here and just fall down?" And I'm like,
oh,
"Bro, you have changed the course of history."
that is the best. That is the best.
It's such a unique find because like for years nobody knew about it, and you just sit by this wall and you get pushed. Like what the fuck? Crazy.
Love it. Yep.
Yeah. No, my pleasure though having you on today. It was really good. Guys, for those still listening, I'm gonna have Beggar's links down in the description. Um Twitch, Twitter, do you have a YouTube as well? I actually don't.
I do. I'm gonna get more active at
Okay.
some point. Yeah. Right
Oh,
now I'm posting like shorts and stuff, but I'm gonna
perfect.
probably
Yeah.
do more tutorial videos in the future and stuff like that. So.
Cool. Well, I'll have all of that linked down below. Also, if you guys want to support the cast, there's a Patreon link and a YouTube membership link down there. You can support the cast. There's also an exclusive episode 176, so the one right before here, where I'm talking to Bodie, Tasty Life, Beggar Officials on it, and a bunch of others where we talked in Orlando on the couch in person. It is an audio-only episode, but there are still like some still frames where you can kind of see what that experience was like. So if you guys want to support, there is an exclusive episode both on YouTube and on Patreon. So thank you guys for all listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks again, Beggar.
Thank you so much. Have a great one, guys.